Welcome to the fantasy audiobook, Awakening of the Whole People. This treatment has 100 million fierce points. Chapter 61. It is different from Xiao Qian's skills. Xiao Qian's awakening skills are basically summoning creatures from the underworld to attach to him to fight. And Liu Beibei directly summoned the creatures of Tiangong to fight for her. After the heavenly soldiers were summoned, it was a silver-armored warrior with a height of 2.5 meters, holding a square sky-painted halberd, which looked mighty and extraordinary. The combat effectiveness of Tianbing is related to Liu Beibei's skill proficiency. Liu Beibei's proficiency in skills is obviously not low. This day, the soldier swung Fang Tian's painted halberd, chasing the zombie general and slashing wildly. And the injured brother was trampled by the zombie war horse while intercepting the zombie general. After all, although the heavenly soldiers are strong, they cannot outrun the general on horseback. It's a pity that although this heavenly soldier came from the sky, he still can't ride the clouds and ride the fog. I don't know if Liu Beibei's level can be raised to level 99, can the heavenly soldier have such abilities? With the cooperation of his teammates, Tianbing quickly hacked the zombie general to death. Regarding the death of the zombie general, Zhang Feifei was more excited than anyone else. Because on the third floor, she finally had room to play. The long-lost battle. Zhang Feifei couldn't wait to pull Bai Yu into the space-time shuttle door on the third floor, as if she was in a hurry to do something. For Xiao Qian's team, the third layer of the army formation was a bit difficult to fight. After all, there were too many crispy skins in their team. But for Liu Beibei's team, it seemed very easy. Why? Because in addition to Liu Beibei's extremely powerful output, there is also Zhang Feifei's trump card in the team. Spiritual Storm. As soon as she entered the third floor, Zhang Feifei directly activated the fourth awakening skill. Bai Yu only felt a buzzing in his ears, and a mental shock wave that was invisible to the naked eye but could be felt rushed towards the soldiers in the army formation. Before the soldiers understood what was going on, they began to fall in pieces. How is it? Are you dizzy? Do you want to vomit? After releasing the skills, Zhang Feifei looked at Bai Yu and asked. I fainted a little bit, but I didn't feel like vomiting. Why do you ask? Bai Yu is puzzled. Why do you think they haven't come in for so long? Although my mental storm is controllable, it will still be affected by my side. If my mental power is not strong enough, I will feel dizzy and nauseated. Your mental power is very strong, Zhang Feifei said. Under normal circumstances, non-spiritual systems don't have too much spiritual power. Even if they are elemental systems, their spiritual power can't withstand the impact of spiritual systems. Liu Beibei and the others knew Zhang Feifei's temperament, so they usually waited for Zhang Feifei, who had been holding back for more than half an hour, to come in first to vent and then follow in. And Bai Yu didn't understand the situation at all, and was dragged by Zhang Feifei, and came in out of nowhere. It's also thanks to his mental power that he transformed a lot of mental power because he released the Toothless Duck skill when he was in Fengming Mountain. Otherwise, this time, I'm afraid it will be uncomfortable for a long time. Knowing that you still drag me in, Bai Yu said angrily. Zhang Feifei was obviously trying to trick him on purpose. Mistake. I've held back for too long, I'm so excited. Zhang Feifei said playfully. At this time, Liu Beibei and the others came late. Let's get started, hurry up, Liu Beibei said, and then led people to clean up the soldiers who were stunned. With Zhang Feifei taking the lead, the process of cleaning up the minions went smoothly. As for Liu Beibei's team, the only disadvantage in this mirrored space was the last leader. Compared to Xiao Qian's team, they didn't have a melee master strong enough to hold the general down steadily. No one can control the general in place like Xiao Qian, so that teammates can use the props on the battlefield to cause damage to the general. They can only fight hard. Fortunately, Zhang Feifei is an outlier in the team. Although the general's mental power is very strong, Zhang Feifei's mental attack cannot cause him do damage. But interference is still possible. What Zhang Feifei has to do is to make the general have no time to worry about the biggest trump card in the team, Liu Beibei. Spiritual Lead is an auxiliary skill that can help teammates lock on a certain target. But when she came to Zhang Feifei, she was outplayed. She connected the spiritual guidance to the general, and kept giving him wrong instructions and guidance. In normal times, Zhang Feifei's guidance would not be able to interfere with the general at all, but now the general is in the midst of a fierce battle and needs to be highly concentrated. This gave Zhang Feifei a chance. In addition, what Zhang Feifei needs to do is not to perform actions such as mental manipulation or attack, but to give a wrong guide and interfere with his judgment in battle. This makes it so much easier. And it was Liu Beibei who provided Zhang Feifei with such conditions. She activated the first and fourth awakening skills at this time. The combination of the two skills made the general a little tired. Liu Beibei's first awakening skill is very interesting, it's called scattering beans into soldiers. The function of this skill is to summon several puppets to fight for themselves. A puppet has no life, no thoughts, and its combat effectiveness is not strong. If used alone, I'm afraid it can't even beat level 40 mobs. But with the cooperation of the fourth awakening skill, it can match against a level 49 general. Liu Beibei's fourth awakening skill is called Shantong. This is also a skill that has little combat effectiveness when used alone. Fairy Boy has no entity, so naturally he has no physical attack ability, and elemental attack and mental attack power are not worth seeing. But if he is given a host, then his fighting power will be terrifying. At this time, the fairy boy possessed by the puppet was in an inextricable fight with the general, coupled with Zhang Feifei's interference from the side, and other people going up to make troubles from time to time. Shantong had already gained the upper hand. Fairchild is very powerful, but it also has disadvantages. He can only possess a host that has no self-awareness. It's not that he can't attach himself if he is conscious, but that Shantong himself is conscious, and when possessing a conscious host, he will rob his body of control. In the process of the two consciousnesses robbing each other, the one that loses will cause irreversible mental trauma. And Shantong itself has no physical body, and he doesn't care about the life and death of the host at all during the battle, just change another body when he dies. Therefore, Shantong is not suitable for possessing teammates and improving combat effectiveness. You can only use a host like a puppet, and make it whatever you want. In just a few minutes, Shantong had already smashed several bodies, and Liu Beibei was responsible for supplementing them. As soon as the puppet was about to die, he would immediately summon another puppet to let Shantong change another body to continue beating. Anyway, sprinkling beans into soldiers is just the first awakening skill, and the consumption is also small, so use it casually. Although there is a fairy boy standing in front, the situation is still very serious for others. They are all melee fighters, and if they want to interfere with the general, they have to get close. And the general wished that they would take the initiative to come up to him, saving him the trouble of chasing him. As for the general's attack power, if he rubbed against them casually, he would be seriously injured. Fortunately, Zhang Feifei's interference was very effective. Not only did the general ignore Liu Beibei, but he only focused on Shantong, and he didn't pay that much attention to other people. After all, it was Shantong who threatened him the most. Powerful, the general saw an opportunity, and smashed out the spear fiercely, smashing the puppet possessed by Shantong, and the fragments flew, scratching a nearby melee. At the same time, a puppet from the rear strode over again, and Shantong got into the puppet's body directly. Taking advantage of the general's old power exhausted and the new power not born, he slammed into the general's arms and began to fight close to the body. After a set of consecutive moves, the general is also in a mess. Looking at the guy in front of him, the general was very irritable. He had already smashed several bodies of the other party, but it was useless at all. Instead, he was killed by the other party in exchange for injuries, leaving scars all over his body. He's not in his prime anymore. Although the injuries on his body were not critical, most of them were in some joints, which greatly reduced his combat effectiveness. Come, brother Baiyu, give me some milk. The injured buddy ran over, yelling, but looked away wretchedly. Baiyu followed his gaze subconsciously, and what he saw was a plump and firm pear. People like to call a healer a nanny, but at this moment, Baiyu felt that he was not worthy of being a healer. What are you looking at? It's not me to tell you to give me milk. Zhang Feifei glared at Baiyu. Baiyu blushed and turned away quickly. After patting the injured buddy on the shoulder, his injury healed. Go away. Zhang Feifei stared at that buddy with a fierce look on her face. Go here, go here. Obviously, he is used to Zhang Feifei like this. In this way, From time to time, injured people came to Bai Yu for treatment, and after being cured, they went back to fighting. Liu Beibei's team also enjoyed the benefits of healing. The general was exhausted by the people who took turns to fight, and finally he was outnumbered and died tragically under Shantong's iron fist. Yeah, finally faster than that guy. Zhang Feifei jumped up and jumped onto Liu Beibei. Everyone was envious for a while. Both Zhang Feifei and Liu Beibei are top-notch beauties, and they are already amazing when taken alone, but now they are hugged together, the picture is simply too beautiful. It's not Zhang Feifei's fault. Before, everyone formed their own teams and didn't compare themselves, so it didn't matter. But now everyone has been summoned to participate in the hunter competition, and they are divided into two teams, and Liu Beibei and Xiao Qian each lead a team. The team members know that both of them are top talents, so there is inevitably a comparison. It's a pity that Bai Yu didn't arrive some time ago, and their team was always short of one person, so the progress was naturally always slower. Xiao Qian also ridiculed it kindly, but the people in Liu Beibei's team took it to heart. No one wants to lag behind. Even if they know that Xiao Qian has no malicious intentions, they still feel unhappy. After receiving the reward, the team exited the mirror space. Naturally, Zhang Feifei couldn't avoid showing off in front of Xiao Qian. But Xiao Qian's ignorant look made Zhang Feifei gnash her teeth. It was still early, and although Bai Yu had gained a lot of experience after the 2 trips, he still almost reached level 19. The two teams decided to have another round, first raising Bai Yu's level to level 19. The start of the competition is not far away, and they will use the limited few days to bring Bai Yu to level 20, and Bai Yu will be even more powerful with the third awakening skill. Although we don't know what Bai Yu's third awakening skill will be, everyone agrees that it is definitely not easy. They are also full of curiosity. He cares more about Bai Yu's upgrade than Bai Yu himself. After another 2 times, Bai Yu finally reached level 19, and these 2 times, Bai Yu also began to try to integrate into the team's style of play and seek cooperation with his teammates. And when he started doing it, it seemed like he was supposed to. He has a second talent, which can transform power through treatment, improve his strength, speed, physique, mental power, etc. And these improved attributes can make him better adapt to the battlefield and better protect himself in battle. Moreover, Bai Yu also began to consciously learn some fighting skills. He found that whether it was Xiao Qian, Sun Wu, or the close fighters in Liu Beibei's team, they not only fought with awakening skills, but also seemed to have rules and skills in the process of fighting. When Bai Yu left the new training base, he was taught by the squad leader some melee experience and moves, but these moves are more suitable for ordinary people's battles. Those awakened people with awakening skills can never face ordinary opponents. People. Just like the 3 leaders in the mirror space in front of you, if you take out one at random and put it in the ordinary crowd, they are all invincible existences. No matter how high the skill is, it is useless. Only people like them who are either physically strong or have powerful awakening skills are qualified to talk about killing. After the upgrade, Bai Yu followed them to the cafeteria and ate the first meal in the university cafeteria. Then, Xiao Qian took Bai Yu to his dormitory. The conditions of National Defense University are really good. It was the first time Bai Yu saw that there were single dormitories in the school. The feeling of closing the door and the whole world belongs to you is really cool. Brother Bai Yu, rest early, we will continue leveling tomorrow, and try to help you reach level 20 as soon as possible. Before leaving, Xiao Qian dropped such a sentence. In fact, he himself felt that such an explanation was superfluous, but he didn't want Bai Yu to feel that they had neglected him, so he was enthusiastic for a while. Because he felt that Bai Yu, a guy who didn't even know the school, would definitely not be able to run around. Don't run around, there seems to be nothing else to do at night except sleep. But what Xiao Qian didn't know was that shortly after he left, Bai Yu quietly slipped out of the room. He really didn't know any other roads on the campus of the National Defense University. But where he walked, he naturally remembered. He was going to no other place but the glazed tower. If someone knows that someone stays up in the middle of the night and runs to the glazed pagoda, they will definitely call him crazy. The Luli Pagoda is open 24 hours, and there is no restriction on entry, and there is no situation where people cannot enter when it is full. Isn't it good to go during the day? Go at midnight. Really sick. Bai Yu went to the glazed pagoda so late, so naturally he couldn't do anything else. His purpose is to use the monsters in the glazed pagoda to help him practice his fighting skills and upgrade by the way. When he chatted with Zhang Feifei before, he had already inquired clearly. There are 4 floors in the glazed tower, and the lowest floor happens to be level 20 to 29. His purpose is not to clear the level, just go in and fight mobs to improve his skills, even the lowest level of skeleton soldiers. For him now, the pressure is not small. Although there is no experience reward for not clearing the level, the experience value of the mobs that can be killed is also expensive. After all, they are level 20 mobs, and their grade has reached the mysterious level. There is not much difference between the level 20 mirror space and the level 40. The only difference may be that the bone stick of the skeleton soldier looks more decayed, and it feels like it will break when touched. Of course, this is just a feeling. It was only after Bai Yu started to use his hands that he realized how flexible his skills and strong psychological quality were needed to dominate this group of skeleton soldiers. Looking at the bone stick dangling in front of him, Bai Yu felt helpless. Why did you think it was so natural when you watched Xiao Qian fight? People are playing at level 40. In the end, he singled out the general at level 49. Although he was hunted down the whole time, he was indeed the one fighting alone. Only then did Bai Yu have a clearer understanding of the strength of this handsome senior. It's really strong. At the same time, he is also impressed by Liu Beibei, who can stand up to Xiao Qian. This seemingly gentle girl is also a fierce yuppie. Now that you're here, let's practice. If you don't adapt now, it's because your strength is not enough. He has strength, speed, and is not afraid of injury. This is his advantage. As long as you can endure it, there will always be a bright future. So, Bai Yu started to deal with the skeleton soldiers, tried his best, and finally got rid of the skeleton soldiers around him after being beaten dizzy. So hard. Bai Yu let out a wail, and used his magical hand to rejuvenate to recover from his injuries. After making some adjustments, he went into battle again. This kind of mirror space in college doesn't exist in high school, and Bai Yu didn't have to practice even if he wanted to. If it weren't for the frequent fights and the nimble skills and eyesight, it would be very difficult to deal with these skeleton soldiers. Gradually, Bai Yu mastered the attacking routines of the skeleton soldiers, making it easier to deal with them. He has enough strength to break these bone sticks. What needs to be honed now is the unique fighting style. 30 minutes passed. Bai Yu finally cleaned up the minions on the first floor. A sense of exhaustion hit Bai Yu, and Bai Yu began to miss his teammates. The mirror space of the National Defense University is originally a team of 10, not to mention 10, even forming a team of 5 would be much easier. But Bai Yu is now alone, solo. Its difficulty can be imagined. Xiao Qian and the others brushed level 40, and the first floor only took more than 10 minutes, and it was still together with the skeleton general. Now Bai Yu spent half an hour just cleaning up the minions. The whole army. Charge. After the minions were cleared, Bai Yu came to the place where the skeleton general was. He wanted to try to see the strength of this mysterious leader. The skeleton general at level 40 was played by Xiao Qian between applause. He is already at level 19, so he should be able to resist for a while. Bai Yu had just stepped into General Skeleton's warning range, when the familiar lines sounded. General Skeleton charged over on horseback. Something is wrong. The skeleton general's speed is a bit too fast. This is what Bai Yu didn't expect. Because in his cognition, the skeleton general should be quite clumsy. But he forgot that Xiao Qian and the others disabled General Skeleton's war horse when they came up, making him lose his mobility. And Liu Beibei's team is similar, not giving General Skeleton a chance to run. Now Bai Yu has no way to limit the skeleton general, let him rush forward. Although the war horse is a skeleton horse, its speed is still very fast. The distance of tens of meters is there in an instant. The spear in General Skeleton's hand has been handed over to Bai Yu. Bai Yu subconsciously raised his knife to block it. However, the huge force from the spear directly sent him flying. Fortunately, this is the skeleton general. If the living general on the third floor used his skills, Bai Yu would have to finish the game immediately. Quit. Bai Yu didn't dare to try his best. At least until he has enough skills, Bai Yu will no longer plan to single out the skeleton general. Too fierce. Bai Yu's watch was issued by the National Defense University, which gave him a temporary identity when entering the information. He can enter the glazed pagoda through the watch authentication, and he can also send a signal to exit through the watch. When he confirmed his withdrawal, a light array appeared under his feet, which directly teleported him out. Tisk tisk, it's amazing. Bai Yu is very interested in these novelty things. After coming out, after a short rest, Bai Yu entered the mirror space again. Skeleton generals dare not provoke, but soldiers can still bully them. That night, Bai Yu practiced for 3 or 4 hours before returning to the dormitory to sleep. Early the next morning, I went out with dark circles under my eyes to join Xiao Qian and the others. Yo, didn't you rest last night? In the cafeteria, everyone was sitting together having breakfast, and Zhang Feifei approached Bai Yu with a piece of bread and milk in her mouth. Well, do you still drink milk? You can't hold it anymore. After getting along with her yesterday, Bai Yu also knew that Zhang Feifei didn't have any strange thoughts about her, but that she had such a personality, and she just wanted to tease herself, and then see how embarrassed she was. Hey, you're so promising that you dare to tease your sister. Zhang Feifei stared, pretending to be angry. Sister taught well. Bai Yu moved to the side to make room for Zhang Feifei. HMPH, little one, don't be so glib, you didn't sleep well last night, were you thinking about something weird? Zhang Feifei looked at Bai Yu's dark circles and teased. Strange things. How strange? Come on, tell me in detail. Bai Yu took a sip of milk, then put it aside, pretending to be humbly asking for advice. Hey, I'm still excited. Tell me, did you see your sister's beautiful face yesterday and couldn't help having some unrealistic fantasies at night? Tisk tisk, puberty, I understand. Zhang Feifei found that she couldn't handle Bai Yu anymore, so she unleashed a ruthless move. Fantasy. Fantasy doesn't miss you either. Sister Bebe is much prettier than you. Bai Yu had no choice but to use Lu Bebe as a shield. In fact, the beauty of the two is different, but it is hard to say who is more beautiful. But Zhang Feifei has no way to refute this. She can't say that Lu Bebe is not as good looking as her. Zhang Feifei held back for a long time, and suddenly raised her chest. I'm big. Puff. The whole table was sprayed. You were right, the whole school probably knows about you. But don't say it. Big. Big is great. Who knows if it's true or not? Bai Yu curled his lips. I don't believe it. You still dare to take it out in public and let everyone test the authenticity. Zhang Feifei was so angry now. She was already like this, she was several grades ahead of others, so did she need to cheat? But she couldn't produce evidence. Bai Yu insisted that she didn't know the truth, she said it was unfounded. Want to know if it's true or not? Then you touch it. Zhang Feifei was heartbroken. You bet that I dare not take it out to prove it, and I also bet that you dare not touch it. With so many people watching, you still dare to play hooligans in public. Really touch. Bai Yu was surprised. This senior is so unrestrained. Touch, don't touch me, I'm in a hurry with you. Zhang Feifei felt that she had already won. Because of the movement here, many people in the cafeteria cast their eyes on watching the show. Under the watchful eyes of everyone, I don't believe you dare. If you dare to touch it, get ready to die. Tisk tisk, I've never seen such an unreasonable request in my life. Bai Yu looked helpless and shook his head slightly, as if he was about to admit defeat. But no one expected that he slowly stuffed the bread in his mouth into his mouth and ate it, then picked up the milk and drank it down in one gulp, then, with lightning speed, took a handful, turned around and ran away. Everyone testify, she asked me to do it herself. Before leaving, he said something to a table of people. Bai Yu ran away, leaving everyone stunned, and Zhang Feifei with an unbelievable face. Is he really here? Zhang Feifei still can't believe it, but Bai Yu really dared to do it. Let you be poor, is this a disadvantage? Lu Bebe covered her mouth and chuckled. Many others looked at Bai Yu's leaving direction with envious eyes. Many of them have been molested by Zhang Feifei, but none of them have the guts to do it. Thinking about it now, my intestines are full of regrets. If I had known earlier, I would have given it a try even at the risk of being beaten to death. Bai Yu ran away, and Zhang Feifei, who had suffered a loss, didn't feel ashamed anymore, and ate her meal quietly, but, with her gnashed teeth, there was a feeling that she thought the bread in her hand was Bai Yu and wanted to bite to death. Seeing that Zhang Feifei suffered a disadvantage, the people at the table held back their laughter, but they didn't dare to laugh out loud. Now Zhang Feifei, whoever provokes whoever is unlucky. After breakfast, the two teams went directly to the glazed pagoda. They knew that Bai Yu would definitely be waiting for them here. You die for me. Sure enough, when he arrived at the glazed tower, he saw Bai Yu wandering around with his hands in his pockets. When Zhang Feifei saw Bai Yu, the anger that had been almost extinguished just now came up, and she went over and grabbed Bai Yu's ear and pulled him over. Bai Yu knew he was in the wrong, so he didn't dare to resist. Sister, I was wrong, I won't dare to do it again next time. Bai Yu hurriedly begged for mercy. Want to have a next time? Zhang Feifei's eyes widened with anger. No next time, no next time. The top priority is to save her life first. Bai Yu dare not really make Zhang Feifei anxious. Snort. Seeing that Bai Yu had a good attitude, Zhang Feifei let go of his ears. Okay, hurry up, Instructor Yin will give us a fighting class in the afternoon. Seeing that Zhang Feifei's anger had almost subsided, Xiaoqian quickly stood up and said. Fighting class? What fighting class? Bai Yu was taken aback. Instructor Yin is in the strength department. Apart from strength, his strongest point is fighting skills. For this competition, he plans to give us a little trouble. Xiaoqian said. It turned out that someone taught it. I knew why I didn't need to sleep in the middle of the night, and ran to the glazed pagoda to be tortured. Bai Yu's face was full of annoyance. What's wrong? Seeing that Bai Yu's complexion was not very good, Xiaoqian asked. It's okay, let's upgrade. This kind of embarrassment, Bai Yu will not say it. One morning, in a hurry, I took Bai Yu through the mirror space 4 times. However, the experience points required for Bai Yu to level up have only increased by 1/3. From 19 to 20, it is related to the improvement of the grade, and the required experience points will be more. Fortunately, here, there are such a large group of masters, allowing him to surpass more than 20 levels, 2 levels to fight monsters and upgrade, otherwise, 3 days, not to mention upgrading, half of the experience is not enough. At noon, Bai Yu finally stopped running around. He didn't sleep well last night, and he didn't rest for a moment in the morning, and he was practicing leveling all the time. Even though his physical fitness is already very strong, he still feels a little tired. After taking a nice nap in the dormitory, Bai Yu felt the exhaustion leave him. In the afternoon, Bai Yu followed the 2 teams to the training room of the National Defense University. There is still a big difference between the physical training room of National Defense University and the actual combat training room of Wucheng No. 3 Middle School. The actual combat training room in Wucheng No. 3 Middle School is more like a ring, with an empty space in the middle, surrounded by people sitting around, and during the training, they are also one-on-one to challenge other people to observe. The physical training room of the National Defense University is just an empty room, but it's a bit ridiculously big, with a layer of cushions on the floor and various protective gear around it. Awakening skills are not allowed in the physical training room. You can only rely on your own physical fitness and use the fighting skills you have learned to fight. As soon as he entered the training room, Xiaoqian explained it to Bai Yu. Is this a course? Bai Yu asked. Generally speaking, except for those with outstanding physical fitness such as strength and animal transformation, others will not practice martial arts because it is useless to practice. If an elemental element goes to fight people in close quarters, isn't that a waste of money? Of course, students of the National Defense University, apart from being awakened, are still soldiers. Soldiers must learn to use all means to defeat the enemy. Even if their spiritual power is exhausted, they must fight until the last moment. Xiaoqian said. Bai Yu nodded half understanding. He is only under 18 years old, although he has also experienced new training, but in just 1 week, it is impossible to complete the transformation of thinking, that is, he has learned some Q moves. Instructor Yin may not be here for a while, why don't we play? Seeing the empty training room, Xiaoqian said to Bai Yu. He knew Bai Yu's physical fitness, and he began to observe deliberately after Bai Yu rescued him from the general for the first time. In addition, Bai Yu didn't deliberately hide, and he fought with them, so he knew that although Bai Yu was only a cure, his physical fitness was ridiculously strong. Xiaoqian didn't ask Bai Yu why, he respected other people's secrets. However, He really wanted to see how strong Bai Yu's physical fitness was. Xiao Qian's physical fitness is much stronger than that of the elemental system, but it is also not as good as the strength system and beast transformation system. Without being able to use the awakening technique, he felt that he should be similar to Bai Yu. Wait, I'm coming. How could Zhang Feifei miss this kind of opportunity? This brat even dared to take advantage of her. It's time to let him know why flowers are so popular. Zhang Feifei is from the spiritual department, but because she is an awakened person from the combat department, her physical fitness will improve with each level up. Although not many, but now that she is at level 39, her physical fitness is much stronger than that of ordinary people. Coupled with the fighting skills learned in the National Defense University in the past 4 years, even 3 or 5 special forces who are not awakened from the combat department may not be able to get close to her. Are you coming? Are you sure? Xiao Qian looked at Zhang Feifei in disbelief. Everyone had fought the glazed tower together so many times, she should know that Bai Yu's physical fitness is definitely stronger than hers. Even if she has an advantage in technique, she can drop 10 punches with one force. If Zhang Feifei hits Bai Yu 10 punches, Bai Yu will be fine, but if Bai Yu punches her, she might even have to spit out the last night's meal. Of course, let me teach our juniors what it's like to fight. Zhang Feifei smiled triumphantly. Her fighting skills are strong, which is the source of her confidence. But she didn't know Bai Yu's situation at all. When Bai Yu followed their team into the mirror space, she was always dragged by her to watch the show, and had no chance to play at all. Therefore, Xiao Qian's team knew the general situation of Bai Yu, but Liu Beibei's team regarded Bai Yu as an ordinary healer with a weak body. Both groups were covering their mouths and giggling. Ridiculous is not a thing. Then there will be senior sister Lao. Bai Yu was also timid, afraid that Xiao Qian would reveal his situation, so he quickly agreed. Now that both sides agreed, Xiao Qian didn't say anything anymore, but just gave Zhang Feifei a good look. As a result, Zhang Feifei thought that Xiao Qian was asking her to show mercy, and the smile on the corner of her mouth became even bigger. Show mercy, non-existent. When Bai Yu came out from the crowd, Zhang Feifei had already raised her fists. Bai Yu smiled slightly, imitating the example. Just when Bai Yu raised his fists, Zhang Feifei moved. I saw her stepping up quickly and swinging her left fist. Bai Yu didn't react slowly, he raised his hand to block. But Zhang Feifei's move turned out to be a false move. When Bai Yu's arm was about to support Zhang Feifei's fist, Zhang Feifei suddenly changed her move, retracting her left fist and swinging out her right fist. Zhang Feifei changed, and Bai Yu also changed. He forcibly adjusted his body and blocked his arms to the other side. But to everyone's surprise, Zhang Feifei's punch was still a false move. 2 false moves in a row shocked everyone. After Zhang Feifei withdrew her right fist, she stepped forward again, put her hand on Bai Yu's waist, and turned around, and she was behind Bai Yu. Hey, little sample. Zhang Feifei smiled triumphantly, then wrapped her arms around Bai Yu's neck, ready to choke her throat. But how could Bai Yu let her succeed so easily? Bai Yu's fighting skills are indeed not as good as Zhang Feifei, but he has a lot of fighting experience. When Zhang Feifei came around, he realized something was wrong. Subconsciously raised his hand. Sure enough, as soon as he raised his hand, he touched Zhang Feifei's arm that was about to lock his throat. Zhang Feifei's smile froze on her face as soon as it bloomed. She couldn't see it, but she could feel her arm being grabbed by Bai Yu, and subconsciously wanted to cling to Bai Yu to prevent being thrown. But she was still a little slow. Bai Yu's movements are basically instincts without brain thinking. When Zhang Feifei thinks about it and reacts later, her body has already vacated. Boom! Amidst the heavy landing, Zhang Feifei was thrown over the shoulder by Bai Yu and hit the mat on the ground. Hiss! It won't explode, will it? Probably not. It's true after all. How do you know it's true? Have you tried? I haven't, but Bai Yu has tried, you can ask him. After Zhang Feifei landed, she didn't move for a while. Bai Yu also noticed something was wrong. When he threw Zhang Feifei over, he didn't know what happened. Zhang Feifei twisted her body and landed head-on. Well, are you okay? Bai Yu stepped forward anxiously to inquire. The ground is soft, of course nothing will happen to Zhang Feifei. But, she hurts. The place she was so proud of fell to the ground so hard. Moreover, the group of spectators were still discussing whether it exploded or not. At this moment, Zhang Feifei was on fire. Bai Yu, you will kill my old lady. Zhang Feifei endured the pain and jumped up from the ground. Sister, I really didn't mean it. Bai Yu turned around and wanted to run. But he bent down to check on Zhang Feifei just now, and it was too late to run away now. Zhang Feifei jumped up, hooked Bai Yu's neck, threw him to the ground forcefully, and then rode on it. Sister, I was wrong. Bai Yu shielded his face with both hands, blocking Zhang Feifei's rain-like fists. But Zhang Feifei didn't care at all, and kept punching, no matter what it hit. On the face that usually has a playful smile, 2 lines of teardrops slipped down. It can be seen that it really hurts. Click. Just when everyone was hesitating whether to let Zhang Feifei vent for a while, or to pull the two of them apart, the door of the training room was opened again. You two, what are you doing? Yin Tianyu walked in, and seeing the 2 people on the ground, he was a little baffled. Fine. When Yin Tianyu came, Zhang Feifei didn't dare to play his temper anymore, she could only endure the pain and let go of Bai Yu. Bai Yu lowered his head, not daring to look at Zhang Feifei. He only grabbed a handful in the morning, but he was almost flattened in the afternoon. He was wrong. Yin Tianyu didn't care what happened between them. Time is running out, I can teach a little bit, and learn a little bit to be stronger. Therefore, he did not procrastinate, but directly spoke. You have been studying for 4 years. As for skills, that's all I can teach. It's not much different from what you learned before. Today, what I want to talk about is momentum. There were no tables, chairs and blackboards in the training room. Yin Tianyu just stood there and gave the lecture, while the others sat on the floor and listened carefully. Aura is a very wonderful thing. It is invisible, and intangible, but it really exists. Momentum has a great effect, and it can even have the effect of defeating others without fighting. Aura and expressions are also different, sometimes it's a look, sometimes it's a movement, or a posture. Yin Tianyu spoke slowly, and with every word he said, he took a step forward. But every step he takes seems to be stepping on the beat of everyone's heartbeat, which makes people uncomfortable. And Yin Tianyu's already big and majestic body, as he walked step by step, it seemed bigger and bigger, full of oppression. After Fang Yin Tianyu took the last step and stood still, he glanced at everyone. They suddenly had the feeling of facing an indomitable giant. Among this group of people, Xiaoqian is undoubtedly the strongest in terms of individual combat power and psychological endurance. But now Xiaoqian looked at Yin Tianyu in front of him, and couldn't bring up any fighting spirit at all. The strong oppressive force that seemed to be able to crush him to death with one finger made Xiaoqian extremely uncomfortable. He tried his best to get rid of this feeling, but he couldn't get rid of it. On the contrary, the more he resisted, the more uncomfortable he became. Puff! Suddenly, Xiaoqian spat out a mouthful of blood, which made him feel a little relieved. And Yin Tianyu also put away his momentum just right. Hear him, Yin Tianyu said to Bai Yu. Then, he turned around and looked at the crowd. Did you see it? This is the effect of momentum. Before the fight started, he vomited blood. Yin Tianyu's aura is extremely powerful, even though he can no longer use the awakening technique, the aura cultivated by years of fighting is still tyrannical. Even as strong as Xiaoqian, he couldn't resist his stare. Bai Yu discovered that when the aura reaches a certain level, it seems that it is not impossible to kill with the eyes. Sufficiently tyrannical momentum can make you win 3 points when you meet the enemy's eyes. The cultivation of momentum, in addition to one's own tyrannical strength, is more important than confidence. If you don't even have the belief that you must win, and you don't even have the courage to face your opponent, what chance do you have of winning? Yin Tianyu's words made Xiaoqian's eyes brighten, who was already a little annoyed. Just now, there were 20 people in the 2 teams, and he was the only one who vomited blood. He thought it was because he was not as good as others in some aspects. It now appears that is not the case. Of the 20 people, he was the only one who dared to face Yin Tianyu. That's why he vomited blood under the pressure of Yin Tianyu. From this point of view, it wasn't that he was weak, but that he was strong enough, so strong that at a certain moment just now, he wanted to resist Yin Tianyu's momentum. He is strong enough and courageous enough to cultivate his aura from a distance. The only thing missing is fighting, and he can cultivate his own aura by constantly tempering it with fighting. There are only so many things like aura that can be expressed in words. The rest can only be experienced by yourself. Next, start fighting skills training. All of you, let's go together. After finishing speaking, Yin Tianyu pulled off his shirt, revealing his strong muscles. And everyone who saw Yin Tianyu's body was shocked again. Yin Tianyu himself had a scar on his face, which could not be completely eliminated after treatment. One can imagine how badly he was injured at that time. But now, after he took off his shirt, everyone realized that what they saw before was just the tip of the iceberg. Yin Tianyu's body was covered with all kinds of knife marks, claw marks, and bullet holes. Each of these scars was so hideous and terrifying. They were so shocked just by looking at it. Who knows what Yin Tianyu went through back then? At the same time, he was also full of admiration for Long Wei. Among Long Wei, there are definitely many people like Yin Tianyu. It is the dedication of these people that allows them to have an environment to study with peace of mind. What are you still doing? Now we are opponents, enemies. Are you still waiting for me to count 1, 2, 3 for you? After finishing speaking, Yin Tianyu rushed forward without waiting for them to do anything. After Yin Tianyu's roar, everyone came back to their senses, opened their posture, and prepared for a battle. Boom! The first to bear the brunt was Xiaoqian. As the strongest melee fighter in the two teams, he was naturally the first to charge forward. But as soon as he touched it, he was blown away by Yin Tianyu's powerful force, and his whole body was stuck to the wall in the shape of a font, slowly sliding down. Ha ha ha, at your level, don't say that I bully you. I will make an exception for you today. There is no restriction on the awakening skill, use it as you like. If you have any dirty tricks, come here. Yin Tianyu laughed out loud. Then don't blame us for being rude. The students were also angry. If Yin Tianyu was still the same Yin Tianyu from Long Wei, they certainly wouldn't dare to stroke the tiger's beard. But they all know that the current Yin Tianyu can't use the awakening skills. He is almost a half-useless person, and he is so crazy. Come on, let me see, why are you so rude, thinking that I will become a soft-legged shrimp without the awakening skill? All the students displayed their special skills. For a time, frost flames, thunderstorms, raged wildly. But Yin Tianyu was not afraid at all. With a pair of iron fists, he saw every move and broke it. All kinds of skills were smashed by that pair of iron fists. It was invincible. Ha ha, come again. Yin Tianyu laughed wildly, as if he had returned to the time when he was in charge of Long Wei. Soldiers of beans. Fairy boy. It wasn't until Liu Beibei made a move that Yin Tianyu's crazy posture was slightly restrained, but he was still fierce. After 3 or 5 moves, Shantong was also punched to pieces the puppet's body, unable to fight anymore. At this time, there are already a lot of people lying on the ground, both melee and elemental. But Bai Yu and Jin Ming were too busy. HMPH, on the battlefield, the enemy will not give you such a chance to heal. After finishing speaking, rush to the direction where Jin Ming and Bai Yu are. If the treatment is not dead, half of the team battle will be lost. This sentence is not a joke. The opponent you worked so hard to injure, but was pulled back by the opponent's healing skills after a few skills. Isn't that effort in vain? Liu Beibei and Xiaoqian also realized that they should protect and treat at this time. God General, Ghost General, Town. Xiaoqian's eyes shot out divine light, which made Yin Tianyu slightly stunned. At the same time, a golden armored general came from the sky, stabbing his chest with a spear in his hand. Snort. This is Liu Beibei and Xiaoqian's 5th awakening skill. Yin Tianyu didn't dare to be careless. He immediately gave up attacking Bai Yu and Jin Ming, and turned around to deal with it. Boom. The iron fist collided with the spear, the god general dissipated, and Yin Tianyu also retreated 2 steps. Fear. Just when he was about to attack again, Zhang Feifei's voice sounded. A mental wave hit his mind directly. The scene was chaotic just now. Zhang Feifei has been looking for opportunities. It's a pity that although there are many of them, they can't pose a threat to Yin Tianyu at all, so she has never had a chance to make a move. It wasn't until Liu Beibei and Xiaoqian joined forces that Yin Tianyu showed a flaw. However, Just when Zhang Feifei's mental ripples rushed into Yin Tianyu's mind, Yin Tianyu suddenly turned his head and looked at Zhang Feifei. Little girl, are you playing with fire? Do you think your low-level mental attack can work on me? HMPH. Childish. Zhang Feifei was startled by Yin Tianyu's sudden burst of momentum. Originally, he had put away his aura, and there was only a faint coercion on his body, which would not affect everyone. But when he looked at Zhang Feifei, he actively exuded aura, and Zhang Feifei didn't want to face that terrifying feeling again. So she really didn't use mental attacks on Yin Tianyu anymore. No wonder Zhang Feifei was timid. For a strong man with aura, when he is not actively controlling his aura, this aura still exists, but it seems to spread out, covering his body. This kind of faint momentum can make some people who are not determined enough not even have the idea of a sneak attack. Zhang Feifei also hesitated for a long time, and under the joint attack of Liu Beibei and Xiao Qian, she broke through the cover of this momentum for a short time, and she was able to make up her mind. Now, Yin Tianyu took the initiative to burst out his aura, as if he gathered the scattered aura together, and it affected Zhang Feifei. Even Xiao Qian couldn't stand it, so how could Zhang Feifei resist it? After bluffing Zhang Feifei, Yin Tianyu focused his attention on Bai Yu and Jin Ming again. Under their treatment, half of the group of people who had been knocked down by Yin Tianyu had stood up again. Now, they have begun to seek cooperation with each other. Thinking about it, they also understood that even if Yin Tianyu couldn't use the awakening technique, it was still not something they could compete with. Unless they can form an effective cooperation and exert a combat power of 1+1 greater than 2. Trouble. Yin Tianyu shook his head. He was already about to catch Bai Yu and Jin Ming, but he was blocked by Liu Beibei and Xiao Qian, and he was hit by Zhang Feifei's mental attack. After a little delay, it turned out like this. Now, he has been deeply encircled. Although he is not in danger, it is very difficult to break through the encirclement to deal with those two healers. Because he found that these people have begun to separate him from Bai Yu and the others intentionally, preventing him from getting a cure. Sister. The atmosphere in the arena was tense, but Bai Yu quietly moved to Zhang Feifei's side. What do you want? Seeing that Bai Yu was coming, Zhang Feifei subconsciously covered her chest. She was already allergic to Bai Yu. In no mood. By the way, do you want to win? Zhang Feifei didn't realize what Bai Yu meant when she didn't want to, and she was immediately attracted by Bai Yu's next sentence. Nonsense, of course I want to win, 20 people can't beat one, so talk about it and throw someone to death. Zhang Feifei said, want to win, then listen to me. Bai Yu smiled wretchedly, listen to you, what bad idea do you have? Zhang Feifei subconsciously felt that Bai Yu couldn't hold back any good farts. What's a bad idea? It's a brilliant idea. If we cooperate, we will definitely be able to win. Bai Yu said quietly. Cooperate? How to cooperate? Zhang Feifei is puzzled. In this way, I will sneak around behind Instructor Yin in a while, you see the timing, and let the fear go again. Bai Yu said. No, fear doesn't work on Instructor Yin, didn't you see it just now? Zhang Feifei shook her head. It's because I saw it just now that I let it go. You think it won't work? HMPH. That's his disguise. As a dragon guard, how could he easily let you see his true state? Although he tried his best to act as if nothing happened, but the moment he looked at you, he revealed something in his heart. I know the awakening skill of fear, which is to use spiritual power to arouse the most feared thing in the opponent's heart. It stands to reason that, as a leader among the dragon guards, and someone who was even mentioned by Zhanfang, there should be nothing in his heart that can scare him. However, just a moment ago, I felt his state. Different, he is really scared. Bai Yu's second awakening skill is calmness, which allows him to check the status of his teammates or enemies. At that moment just now, he found that Yin Tianyu was really frightened. What is it that makes an existence like Yin Tianyu feel fear? Was it the person who hurt him in the first place? Or what hurt him in the first place? Or something else? Bai Yu couldn't guess these things. But now he doesn't need to know why, he just needs to know that this skill is effective for Yin Tianyu. Really, Zhang Feifei is dubious. Trust me. Bai Yu nodded affirmatively, then slipped out quietly and ran to the position behind Yin Tianyu. As for Bai Yu, although Yin Tianyu wanted to catch him, he didn't regard him as a threat. How much combat power can he have as a cure? The battle was still going on. Yin Tianyu rushed to kill the students in an unrivaled posture. Liu Beibei and Xiao Qian teamed up, and with the cooperation of other team members, they could barely protect themselves. Even so, some people were still knocked down by Yin Tianyu. Just when Yin Tianyu concentrated on attacking, the students fell down one by one. Fear. Zhang Feifei once again seized an opportunity, regardless of what Bai Yu said was true or not, and released the fear skill. Another wave of spirit rushed out. Yin Tianyu's overwhelming offensive suddenly faltered, and his eyes suddenly turned red. I said, don't attack me mentally, can't you hear me? At this moment, Yin Tianyu is like a crazy bison, staring at Zhang Feifei with red eyes. Zhang Feifei was shocked by Yin Tianyu's aura, and seeing Yin Tianyu's fierce appearance, she staggered and fell to the ground. Ho ho, Xiao Xiao's generation, dare to come to my land of China to be presumptuous. Today, I will let you come and go. No, do not want. Kill. This time, Yin Tianyu didn't stop after yelling at Zhang Feifei like last time, but walked towards Zhang Feifei's direction and started talking nonsense. Quick, stop him. Liu Beibei noticed something was wrong with Yin Tianyu. He looked at Zhang Feifei as if he was looking at some life and death enemy. If he was allowed to be in front of Zhang Feifei, he would definitely kill Zhang Feifei. Instructor Yin, wake up. At this moment, everyone panicked. A group of people rushed up, but Yin Tianyu punched them all back. In desperation, they couldn't care less, rushed forward again, pulled their arms around their thighs, and used all methods. But Yin Tianyu has identified Zhang Feifei, and has a feeling that he must kill her. Bai Yu also panicked. It seems that he has lost his mind now. Zhang Feifei's mental attack really worked, but the result was not what he wanted. It seems that something buried deep in Yin Tianyu's heart was unearthed, and that's why he suffered so much, and even regarded Zhang Feifei as an enemy. Seeing 5 or 6 people hanging on Yin Tianyu's body, but still walking towards Zhang Feifei step by step, Bai Yu knew that if he didn't think of a way, one of them might really die today. Now that things have come to an end, this is the only way to go. Instructor Yin, I hope you don't blame me. Yin Tianyu went crazy. It was really scary. A group of people tried every possible way, but they couldn't stop him. Zhang Feifei was also intimidated by Yin Tianyu's aura. Her legs and feet were weakening, and she even forgot to run away. Yin Tianyu strode up to Zhang Feifei with a pendant all over his body, and raised his big fist, ready to smash it down. Boom! There was a muffled sound, and the training room fell silent instantly. The students stopped shouting, and Yin Tianyu stopped talking nonsense. Everyone's eyes widened and they looked at Bai Yu as if they had seen a ghost. After a short period of silence, Yin Tianyu's painful wailing came from the training room. I saw Yin Tianyu, who was still like a god of war a moment ago. Now his body bowed like a shrimp, and he fell to the ground, howling uncontrollably, and his eyes gradually cleared up. He covered his crotch with both hands, rolling all over the floor in pain. Bai Yu, I'm going to kill you. Ah, it hurts me to death. Yin Tianyu's wailing made Bai Yu shiver. Instructor Yin, you can't blame me for this. In order to prevent you from making a big mistake and regretting it for the rest of your life, I made this move. Physical pain is far better than psychological trauma, so short-term pain is worse than long-term pain. Bai Yu almost didn't know what he was talking about, so he gave random explanations. And the others have already started to move slowly to the gym room. Well, Instructor Yin, I have something to do, so I'll leave first. After finishing speaking, Bai Yu also planned to sneak away. Want to run? Come back to me. Yin Tianyu didn't care about other people, but Bai Yu absolutely couldn't let him run away. Enduring the pain, he jumped up from the ground and grabbed Bai Yu back. Others saw that they ran faster. In the gym training room, Bai Yu's screams came. Ah, Instructor Yin, stop hitting, I was wrong. You can't do this to me, don't. Instructor Yin, don't forget that you borrowed me from old Wu, how can you explain to him if you kill me? Bai Yu tried to persuade Yin Tianyu to stop, and his words really helped a little. That's right, you can't tell old Wu if you beat him to death. Get up, heal yourself first, and then I'll continue beating. There was a chill in Yin Tianyu's voice. Are you a devil? Bai Yu's voice was heard outside the training room, and everyone couldn't help shivering. Get beaten first, Heal yourself when you are about to die, and then continue to be beaten. Infinite loop. Hiss. It's scary to think about it. Outside the training room, a group of people leaned their ears against the wall, listening carefully to the movement inside. They were not afraid that Yin Tianyu would really beat Bai Yu to death. Now Yin Tianyu has regained his sobriety, but Bai Yu will suffer a little. No way, who told him to do that kind of thing? Yin Tianyu's anger must be borne by someone, so he can only die as a fellow Taoist and not a poor Taoist. After a long time, the sound of blows and screams in the training room finally stopped. Click. The door was opened, Yin Tianyu came out refreshed, and left without looking sideways. Where's Bai Yu? Shouldn't he be beaten to death? Go, take a look. Pushing open the door of the training room, the inside is a mess. Many protective gear and training equipment that should have been hung on the wall are now thrown all over the floor. In the pile of these things, a person lay there quietly, as if dead. Bai Yu, Zhang Feifei shouted, but there was no answer. Wouldn't you really be beaten to death? Everyone stepped forward suspiciously. After getting closer, he found that Bai Yu was lying there so quietly, motionless, and there was a sense of lovelessness in his open eyes. God knows what he went through this moment. Although he doesn't have any injuries on his body now, it may take a long time to recover from the wounds in his heart. Bai Yu, are you okay? Everyone stepped forward to check, and Xiao Qian asked a question. But this ordinary sentence was like turning on a certain switch, and Bai Yu's body suddenly trembled violently. Stop hitting, I was wrong, I dare not do it again. You're despicable, you're shameless, you're not trustworthy, and you can use dirty tricks to hurt your tricks as you say. I want to go back, I don't want to participate in the competition. Bai Yu seemed to be greatly stimulated, his body shrunk back vigorously, begging for mercy, cursing, and spitting again. Until he retreated to Zhang Feifei's side, he seemed to have encountered a life-saving straw and entangled him. Save me, I don't want to be beaten to death by him. Then, he buried his head in a soft place, and it never came out. Well, Zhang Feifei wanted to get angry, but seeing Bai Yu's pitiful look, she couldn't bear it. After all, Bai Yu would do that to save her. However, Yin Tianyu's madness is also because of his bad idea. Zhang Feifei was very tangled and didn't know what to do. In the end, she just sighed heavily and let Bai Yu rub against her arms. Quote. Everyone was speechless for a while. What time is it? Don't forget to take advantage. Only Xiao Qian seemed to see a strange smile from the corner of Bai Yu's mouth, and then, Bai Yu's whole face was buried in it, and he could never see it again. Xiao Qian didn't try to expose it, but just clapped his hands and said, Okay, it's all right, everyone, take a rest, there are still activities tonight. Leveling in the morning, fighting in the afternoon, and getting familiar with the rules of the game in the evening, this was arranged in advance. The rules of the game are actually not complicated and are easy to memorize. The so-called familiarity with the rules of the game is actually to study whether they can exploit loopholes. Then, each team discusses the division of labor, arranges the candidates for the battle, how to deal with accidents, etc. Bai Yu seemed to have been beaten into a daze in the afternoon, and kept sticking to Zhang Feifei's side, unable to get away even if he was beaten, and made trouble as soon as he left. Even in the conference room now, he buried his head in that place, refusing to come out like an ostrich. Zhang Feifei blushed and discussed the rules of the game with everyone. The competition mode this time is quite novel, and it is divided into 3 stages. Liu Beibei is talking. Yeah, individual competition, group arena, team competition, the scores obtained in each stage are also different, it seems that we need to arrange the lineup properly. Zhang Feifei was so uncomfortable being rubbed by Bai Yu, she twisted her body uneasily, and took Liu Beibei's words. However, this time the alliance of various countries has contacted the mysterious system. The referee of this game is served by the system, which can put an end to the phenomenon of black whistle. Liu Beibei continued. The system serves as the referee. Where? Zhang Feifei couldn't find any relevant content from her brochure, so she moved her head to Liu Beibei's side, but Bai Yu got stuck in her body. Get up. Zhang Feifei kicked this guy who had been taking advantage of her to the side. Here, Liu Beibei pointed to a place in the booklet and said. Everyone has a booklet with the same content, but Zhang Feifei didn't read it carefully enough and didn't pay attention. There is a whole page written about things related to the system. Zhang Feifei should have turned 2 pages directly and didn't see it here. It is clearly written in the brochure that for this hunter competition, the venue is a competition space generated by the system in military academies in various countries. During the competition, players from both sides enter the competition space and send players to compete according to the rules. There are a total of 3 individual competitions. No matter the winner or loser, they will end after the match. The winning side gets 1 point, and the loser gets no points. The arena is 3 on 3, taking turns to play. The winner stays and continues the game, and the loser goes off and replaces another player, until the last person of a certain team loses the game. The final victor in the arena gets 2 points, and the loser gets no points. If you fail in the first 2 stages, it doesn't matter, there is still a chance. Because the team competition in the 3rd stage has 5 points. There are 5 players in the team battle, and the winning team gets 5 points. These 5 points have nothing to do with how many players are left in the end, as long as they win. If the counterattack is completed in the team competition, it cannot be completely counted as a comeback, because the scores of the 2 teams are the same at this time, but they just have a chance to come back. After all 3 competition stages are over, if the 2 teams have the same points, then try luck. At this time, the mysterious system will automatically draw lots. Because it is executed by the system, it is absolutely fair. At present, no country on Blue Star can interfere with the system's actions, not even discuss it. At most, it is like now, you make a request, and then the system finally decides, agree or disagree. Agreed, then everyone is happy. Disagree, then you have no choice but to hold back. The system draw cannot be interfered with, nor can it be rejected. Rejection is regarded as abstention. Even if it draws a healer from your team, it can only choose to play or forfeit. In the end, the players from both sides selected by lottery will have a one-on-one playoff match. The competition rules are the same as the individual competitions. It is worth mentioning that the system doesn't seem to want to see people die, so when the system makes a judgment, it will directly judge the seriously injured and lose the combat effectiveness, and send them out of the competition field. However, the system will not be responsible for the resurrection of those who directly cause a one-hit kill, and they will die if they die. Therefore, every year in the hunter contest, there is a quota for death. Bai Yu didn't read the brochure, but after listening to Zhang Feifei and Liu Beibei's discussion there, he also understood a general idea. For the team competition, the treatment should be on, otherwise, it's just doing logistics, it doesn't make much sense. That's right, healing is very important in the team competition. Not only must you play, but you must also protect it well. As long as the healing is not eliminated, then we can continue to fight. The 2 discussed, and others occasionally spoke, and soon came up with a complete plan. Because individual competitions and group arenas cannot be played repeatedly, the arrangement of personnel needs to be carefully considered, and it has not been decided yet. As for the personnel in the team competition, they can be repeated from the previous ones, so it was agreed first. First of all, Bai Yu's treatment is a must. Then, as the strongest member of the team, Liu Beibei must not be absent. And Zhang Feifei's spiritual system is almost an attack that ignores defense, and she must be one of them. The remaining 2 are not difficult to choose. If it is not possible, they can be temporarily adjusted according to the lineup that the opponent may send. Anyway, there is no rule on who must participate in the team competition, as long as there are enough 5 people, any will do. Liu Beibei's team composition is not difficult. In her team, there are a lot of melee combat, so you can just pull 2 people in the front row. Although the situation of Xiao Qian's team is opposite to that of Liu Beibei's team, the selection of candidates for the team competition is still very good, but it is a little more troublesome in the individual competition and group arena. Presumably they should have a way to deal with it. It seems that the most urgent thing is to bring this trash to level 21st, otherwise, I'm afraid it won't be of much use in team battles. Get up, don't pretend to be dead, you've been pretending to be crazy for so long, you've already taken advantage of it, it's time to get down to business. Zhang Feifei walked up to Bai Yu and kicked him lightly. Allowing Bai Yu to take advantage of him for so long can be regarded as a repayment for his life-saving grace, otherwise, what should we do? Is it a promise with your body? As a psychiatric Zhang Feifei, how could she fail to see Bai Yu's mental state? I already knew he was faking it. Huh, why did I get better all of a sudden? It's amazing. Bai Yu patted his butt and got up from the ground. HMPH, don't be poor, hurry up tomorrow, while your double experience card is still valid, let's see if you can swipe it for another round. Now the discussion here is almost done, go back and rest. Zhang Feifei chased away Bai Yu, and dragged Liu Beibei away. Bai Yu left the meeting room and had nowhere to go. It was enough to do such a stupid thing as practicing fighting skills in the Luli Pagoda once. Now, he had to go back and rest. The beating in the afternoon put a lot of burden on Bai Yu, both physically and mentally. Although the soft comfort made him recover a lot, he was still quite tired. After returning to the dormitory, Bai Yu took a shower and lay on the bed. Before he fell asleep, there was a knock on the door. It's so late, who could it be? At the National Defense University, Bai Yu is familiar with Zhang Feifei, Liu Beibei, Xiao Qian, and Yin Tianyu. Although the others have communicated with each other, they are not familiar with them, and it is even more impossible to come to him in the middle of the night. The most likely thing is that Yin Tianyu must have come back to him in the middle of the night after he returned and felt that he hadn't vented his anger enough. Bai Yu hesitated to open the door. If you don't open it, it is entirely possible for Yin Tianyu to break into the door. No matter, just die. Bai Yu got up, and went to open the door wearing a pair of big pants. In the end, after opening the door, it was not Yin Tianyu's three-dimensional and five-thick rough guy, but a delicate and beautiful girl. It's so late, what are you doing here? Bai Yu looked at Zhang Feifei standing outside the door. Well, thank you this afternoon, for saving me, I suffered such a beating. Speaking of this, Zhang Feifei still felt a little embarrassed. Then what do you mean by coming now? Are you planning to make a promise with your body? Bai Yu looked at Zhang Feifei outside the door. This outfit didn't look like she was going to give her body, at least she should wear something interesting. Maybe you are a big-headed ghost, I saw that you were beaten so badly today, so I brought you a supper. Also, it's a repayment for letting you take advantage of me in the afternoon. Don't have any unrealistic ideas. With this supper, we'll settle the matter. With that said, Zhang Feifei took out a box from behind. What's this? Bai Yu looked at the takeaway box that Zhang Feifei was carrying, feeling a little strange, thinking that you made it yourself, but it turned out that he ordered takeaway. Fried noodles. Let me tell you, the fried noodles here are super delicious, I often order them. Zhang Feifei handed the fried rice box to Bai Yu as if she was presenting a treasure. Fried noodles. Did you put chicken essence? Let me tell you, if chicken essence is added to fried noodles, it will kill people. Bai Yu said seriously. Ah, so serious, shouldn't it be released? Zhang Feifei didn't know either. It doesn't matter, thank you for the midnight snack, do you want to come in and sit down? Bai Yu asked. No, I'm going back to sleep. Bye. After speaking, Zhang Feifei left. Bai Yu opened the box, and a scent entered his nostrils, making his index finger twitch. It seems that Zhang Feifei is not lying, it really smells delicious. After eating supper, Bai Yu's drowsiness disappeared, and he tossed and turned in bed, unable to fall asleep. He suddenly missed his classmates from No. 3 middle school, especially the members of Shuiyu's team. He wondered if they would find someone to fill his position after he left. It should be, after all, if there is one less person, the experience bonus will be lower, and the upgrade will be slower. What about the children in the orphanage? I definitely won't go back in a short time, and I don't know if they will miss me. Bai Yu's thoughts drifted far away, and then, before he knew it, he fell asleep. The next day, Bai Yu, who had a good night's sleep, woke up feeling refreshed, and his exhaustion had already left him. After meeting in the cafeteria for breakfast, the two teams went to the glazed pagoda without stopping. Come, hurry up, try today and see if you can do one more round. As they cleared the mirror space more and more times, their speed gradually increased. Although it is a temporary team, everyone is the best among their peers, and they are becoming more and more proficient at cooperating. After everyone's collective efforts, in one morning, I did clear the level 5 times, and Bai Yu is getting closer to level 20. In the afternoon, it's fighting skills training again. The gym training room that was beaten into a mess yesterday has been tidied up. You each find an opponent to practice against. Jinming, Bai Yu, you two fight with me. After Yin Tianyu beat Bai Yu yesterday, his anger had subsided, but when he saw Bai Yu again today, he couldn't help but feel a pain, and his anger returned. Hey, you are called public revenge, be careful, I will report you. He had to be beaten anyway, so Bai Yu was going to fight it out. What is public revenge? This is called special care. You are a treatment, so you must have the ability to protect yourself. Otherwise, what will you do if you are approached by an enemy assassin? So, I'm teaching you how to survive, don't spout blood. While speaking, Yin Tianyu had already activated and headed straight for Bai Yu, while Jinming on the side became completely transparent. Ah! With a scream, Bai Yu was punched by Yin Tianyu and flew backwards from the ground. Jinming, treat it. Well, after a long time, I asked Jinming to be with Bai Yu in order to heal Bai Yu when he was beaten. No, I'll do it myself. Yin Tianyu's fist was very heavy. Yesterday, Bai Yu had to slow down before he had the strength to heal himself. But after yesterday's severe beating, he transformed a lot of strength, and his ability to resist beatings has also improved a lot. Although he was still punched flying, he was able to get up and move right away. However, the pain still really hurts. After Bai Yu healed himself, he looked at Jinming. Senior Jinming, go over there and keep an eye on them, don't let them get hurt, I'm going to fight this toothless tiger one-on-one. Bai Yu uttered bold words. In fact, what he thought in his heart was that he was going to be beaten anyway, so why did he need someone else to treat him? After other people have cured him, they cannot transform him. Since you can't hide, it's better to earn more. A toothless tiger. Brat, you are so brave. Yin Tianyu was so pissed off by the title Bai Yu gave him, the veins on his forehead were bulging, and his pair of iron fists were rattling. Bai Yu is not the one who just takes beatings and doesn't fight back. Even if the opponent is Yin Tianyu, he is still trying his best to find a way to fight back. Although his resistance didn't have any effect at the moment, he still didn't give up. And in the process of being knocked down again and again and being treated again, his strength, speed and physique are all improving. In the training room, the sound of fists hitting the body and heavy objects hitting the wall can be heard constantly. Brother Bai Yu can't think about it. He is trying to die. He completely angered Instructor Yin. Do we need to prepare wreaths in advance? On the other side, the people practicing one-on-one fighting skills were not focused on their opponents at all. The two kept making gestures with their hands, but their eyes kept looking towards Bai Yu. He didn't even notice that his opponent was no longer in front of him, and he was still gesticulating against the air. Bai Yu, he wasn't really beaten to death by Instructor Yin, was he? Zhang Feifei looked at Bai Yu who was flying upside down one after another, and said to Liu Beibei with some worry. What's wrong? Distressed, Liu Beibei made a joke. Don't be kidding, I'm 4 or 5 years older than him, how is it possible, but he does look a bit miserable like this. Zhang Feifei gave Liu Beibei a blank look. Death is not enough. Instructor Yin has not lost his mind, but peeling off the skin is certain. Liu Beibei glanced over there and said calmly. This guy is not strong enough, but his mouth is really tough. Xiao Qian who happened to be next to him interjected. Again, I don't believe it. On the other side, Bai Yu flew out countless times, then healed himself and stood up again. His eyes were already red, and he felt like he was about to lose his mind. It's the same no matter how many times I come again. Yin Tianyu smiled disdainfully. However, I am quite satisfied in my heart. This guy's strength cannot be said to be poor, at least in terms of fighting, his talent is still very good. What's more important is Xinsheng. Starting today, Bai Yu has not been convinced, and is even looking for opportunities to fight back. It's a pity that what he met was Yin Tianyu, who was born in Longwei, and he had already perfected his fighting skills. Bai Yu struggled to get up from the ground again, healed himself with a healing skill, and rushed over again. Although Yin Tianyu admired Bai Yu a little bit, he didn't intend to release the water. Facing Bai Yu's figure rushing up, he punched again. Tisk tisk, newborn calves are not afraid of tigers. The others looked at it, and they didn't even make gestures, they just stopped to watch the fun. If nothing unexpected happens, Bai Yu will fly out again. But this time, there was a little accident. The fist that Yin Tianyu swung out was actually empty. When Bai Yu rushed in front of Yin Tianyu, facing the fist, he turned around dexterously and dodged while wiping his fist. Chapter 71. Bai Yu dodged like a god, and everyone was stunned. How could he avoid Yin Tianyu's fist? However, avoiding the fist was just the beginning. Bai Yu's forward figure didn't stop. He put his hand on Yin Tianyu's waist to borrow strength, and slid behind Yin Tianyu like a slippery loach. Bai Yu's idea is simple. Yin Tianyu, as a power system of more than 70 levels, his own physical strength is already terrifying. Even if he punches, the opponent will probably not react, so he plans to be ruthless. Bai Yu circled behind Yin Tianyu, stretched out his other hand, wrapped around Yin Tianyu's waist, and hugged Yin Tianyu from behind. He's going to have a back fall. His idea is good, but how could Yin Tianyu, who has experienced many battles, be thrown down by him so easily? Heavy caddy pendant. After Yin Tianyu, who had punched nothing, was slightly stunned, a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, but it disappeared in an instant, and then the center of gravity of his body sank. Bai Yu exerted his strength, but found that he couldn't move at all. Snort. Boy, even if you don't have the awakening skill, my strength is not comparable to yours. This 1000 Jin pendant is not an exaggeration, it really weighs 1,000 caddies. Yin Tianyu said. Iron Mountain is here. After finishing speaking, Yin Tianyu turned sideways slightly, his shoulders sank, he twisted his waist and sent his hips, and slammed into Bai Yu's chest. It's not the Iron Mountain in Bajiquan, don't use it. Boom. Bai Yu was hit hard by this force, and was sent flying again. After landing, he spit out a mouthful of old blood. Tisk tisk, it's a pity, it's almost there. Xiao Qian whispered beside him. What, you kid really want to see me get beaten? Come and fight me. Xiao Qian whispered to himself, but Yin Tianyu still heard it. Yin Tianyu took advantage of the trend and shifted his target. Bai Yu can't beat him anymore. If he beats him again, something might really go wrong. But the training time is not over yet, and under the condition that awakening skills can be used, Xiao Qian is the strongest one-on-one duel, and he is also very talented in fighting, so Yin Tianyu plans to train him well. And Yin Tianyu's teaching method is also very simple and rude, that is to beat. Learn to be beaten first when beating someone, and resist beating when practicing kung fu. Yin Tianyu rushed towards Xiao Qian, and the other team members scattered like birds and beasts, fearing that Yin Tianyu would be unhappy and would practice solo with them. Xiao Qian was not as convenient as Bai Yu. He had to be healed by Jin Ming after the fight, and he didn't beat him a few times, so the afternoon training time was over. When Yin Tianyu announced that the training was over, all the team members escaped from the training room as if they were hiding from the plague. Terrible. Jin Ming, who watched Xiao Qian being beaten the whole time, felt a little sympathetic to him. However, I admire Bai Yu even more. After being beaten up for so long, he didn't have a nervous breakdown. After listening to Jin Ming's words, everyone looked at Bai Yu. Indeed, Bai Yu was beaten by Yin Tianyu from the very beginning, fell down again and again, got up again and again, and had to heal himself, and continued to go up and get beaten after he was cured. For more than 2 hours, thinking about it makes my teeth ache. Used to it, Bai Yu said lightly, with an inscrutable look. Get used to it. Can you still get used to being beaten? Everyone didn't quite understand the meaning of Bai Yu. I'm an orphan. From childhood to adulthood, no matter where I go, people will discriminate against them, and even say some nasty words. Then I'll fight with them. Others get help, but I'm alone, so in the beginning, I got beaten more. Slowly, after being beaten a lot, I got used to it, and it didn't seem to hurt so much. Later, after I have a talent skill, even if I get injured, I can recover quickly, so I won't be afraid anymore, and I will fight them hard. They were scared and didn't dare to fight me anymore, but after I've been bullied for so long, they said they wouldn't fight anymore. Then I started chasing them to fight. Bai Yu condensed some of his past and then spoke out. He speaks very lightly and is audible to people, but feels very heavy. It's hard for them to imagine how Bai Yu survived when he was alone, helpless, and bullied. No wonder he was beaten up by Yin Tianyu so much, he still had to stand up. Even if he knew very well in his heart, he would continue to be beaten when he got up. With his strength, it was impossible for him to be Yin Tianyu's opponent. As long as he lay down and pretended to be dead, Yin Tianyu would definitely not continue beating him. But he didn't, he got up again and fell down again. It is because of the unyielding belief in my heart. He can lose, but he cannot admit defeat. Because he knows that as long as there is the first time to admit defeat, there will be countless times. Bai Yu's words made everyone silent for a long time. Until the evening, everyone gathered in the conference room again. It's not about discussing rules this time. Because they realize that with the mysterious system as the referee, it is impossible to take advantage of the loopholes in the rules. It will directly announce the outcome of the game when you meet a certain condition, without listening to your explanation at all. So, let's play by the rules. If you want to talk nonsense, you have to be given a chance by the system. For now, it seems that no one on Blue Star can directly talk to the system and negotiate conditions. Maybe it's not qualified, or maybe the system doesn't have its own thinking, it's just running according to the established procedures. Tonight, they still mostly have a discussion lineup. For individual battles, you don't need to make deliberate arrangements. You can look at the status and decide who will be on the spot. But for group arenas, I think it's better to have a fixed lineup, so that everyone can have a bottom line in their hearts. Even if they don't fix all of them, they must arrange someone who is strong enough to defend the final fight to make sure nothing goes wrong. Everyone is representing Huasha in the competition. Although they are divided into two teams, they have no secrets. When discussing, they all gather together. If anyone has any good ideas, they can directly share them for everyone's reference. I think it's feasible. For example, Xiao Qian from the first team and Liu Beibei from the second team. If they come to defend the ring with their strength, even if the front two fail to gain the advantage, they can still win back. Everyone recognized the strength of Xiao Qian and Liu Beibei. What about the team competition? Do you have any suggestions? Someone asked. For the team competition, I think it's more about cooperation. Since it is a team, it must look like a team. If 5 people go up and fight alone, they will not be able to give full play to the advantages of the team. The so-called reasonable lineup will become nonsense. So, we still need to discuss some tactics for team combat, and even come up with some plans in advance. During the game, the situation is changing rapidly, and the on-site command may sometimes be too late. Then, it is simple and clear to directly say which tactics to adopt. Also, our command also needs to be flexible and changeable. It doesn't have to be the captain as the command. Like Liu Beibei is suitable for long-distance combat, and it is convenient to command, but Xiao Qian is better at charging, so I am afraid that he will not be so handy when commanding. Furthermore, if the commander is eliminated, the remaining team members also need someone to take over the command, so as not to be leaderless. Everyone was actively speaking, and even Bai Yu added a few words at the right time. As for Bai Yu, no one would ignore his advice just because he is just a high school student. In the scene in the gym training room in the afternoon, Bai Yu has already won everyone's respect with his performance. Now in their eyes, Bai Yu is no longer just a little guy who follows them to gain experience, but like them, he is an official member of the Hunter contest. Everyone is contributing their own strength to the competition. Bai Yu's third day at National Defense University ended in a heated discussion. On the fourth day, Bai Yu woke up before dawn. Because today is the day he upgrades to level 20. His experience bar from level 19 to level 20 is almost full. If there is no accident, he can successfully upgrade to level 20 after clearing the mirror space twice. Therefore, he was so excited that he couldn't sleep peacefully. After finally making it to breakfast time, Bai Yu went to the cafeteria to eat something in a hurry, then sat by the side, watching everyone eagerly. You don't eat, why are you on your nerves? Zhang Feifei looked at Bai Yu and said bluntly. Big brothers and sisters, can you do me a favor? You know that I'm promoted to 20 today. Please eat quickly, please, and stop chewing slowly. Bai Yu said pitifully on the side. Poochie, ha ha. Bai Yu's answer made everyone burst into laughter. However, their eating speed has also increased significantly. After dinner, go straight to the Luli Pagoda. After Bai Yu followed the two teams into the mirror space once, he finally got his wish and rose to level 20. Congratulations on the upgrade, current level 20, grade, mysterious, and a new awakening skill, empowering flowers. The moment Bai Yu reached level 20, the system announcement came. The new skill is a new skill, and Bai Yu can't wait to open his panel to see the effect of this new skill. Embedding flowers and trees, awakening skills. Yiwa. Pull out the wounds on the target and restore them to a healthy state. Note: broken limbs cannot be regenerated, and dead ones cannot be revived. The wounded wounds will exist in the form of energy balls, and you can use the splicing skills to injure the enemy. Grafting. Inject the injury removed by the Yiwa skill into the enemy's body, forming an injury of the same degree, ignoring defense, not lethal. Awesome. It's so awesome. This is another awakening skill that can be split into 2 skills. Moreover, the effect is quite wow. First of all, the Yiwa skill can remove the injury, which is equivalent to instant recovery. It's just that severe injuries such as severed limbs cannot be regenerated, but they can also be removed, but after the removal, the wound will become healed. Then there's the splicing skills. This little skill is more perverted than Yiwa. Everyone will have a certain degree of defense according to their physical fitness, just like Yin Tianyu. At level 70, he is almost invincible in front of Bai Yu. No matter how Bai Yu attacks, it is impossible to break through his physical defense. Of course, except for certain parts, Bai Yu personally tested it to be effective. However, after gaining the wood grafting skill, you only need to pull out the injury on your teammate and inject it directly into Yin Tianyu's body, then an injury of the same degree will appear on his body. This is the abnormality of ignoring defense. And through this skill, Bai Yu found that he became more and more aggressive. Could it be that the healing department that I created alone will be regarded as the combat department by default, and this is the reason why I have the awakening skill? Treatment no longer only saves people, but also kills. Although there is a clear mark in the skill description, it must not be lethal. However, it is also possible to take advantage of loopholes. For example, when one's teammate is in a near-death state, then after removing his injury and putting it on someone else, is that person also in a near-death state? Not lethal. He is indeed not dead, but how different is it from being dead? Of course, Bai Yu himself knows that such a powerful skill must consume a lot of energy, especially his skills seem to have a characteristic, which is to consume spiritual power according to the target's injury. So if you remove the wounds on a dying person, the spiritual power in his body will be exhausted. Moreover, the near-death state of a level 90 boss is completely different from the near-death state of a 20-level rookie. If Bai Yu wants to get rid of the serious injury status of a level 90 boss now, he will probably make himself vomit blood again. Hey, why are you in a daze? It's upgraded. What's the new awakening skill? Tell us quickly. Isn't it particularly rubbish? Don't be discouraged, even if it's useless, at least you can tell us to make us happy. Seeing Bai Yu standing still like a piece of wood after Bai Yu came out, Zhang Feifei couldn't help but said aloud. TCH, I'm afraid that you will feel inferior if you tell me. Bai Yu gave Zhang Feifei a blank look. Then you said it. Zhang Feifei looked at Bai Yu expectantly. She was really curious about Bai Yu's new awakening skill. Hey, you'll know this afternoon. But Bai Yu smiled wretchedly and didn't tell her. The skill effect of moving flowers and trees is very powerful, but to what extent it is so powerful, someone needs to test it. The fighting skills training in the afternoon seems to have a good test subject. Bai Yu refused to say anything, and Zhang Feifei had nothing to do with him. She could only wait for the afternoon training to see what kind of medicine he was selling in his gourd. After finally waiting until the afternoon, everyone suddenly began to look forward to the skill training again. Anyway, they weren't the ones getting beaten up. No matter whether Bai Yu's new skills were effective or not, they were all happy to watch. Who is that, one-on-one? As soon as Yin Tianyu entered the door of the training room, he heard an extremely arrogant voice. Are you talking about me? Is the skin itchy again? Yin Tianyu looked around, and found that Bai Yu was staring directly at himself, not talking about others, so he asked with some uncertainty. This kid won't be beaten stupid by himself, will he? How dare you challenge yourself? It's as if I don't look for you, you won't beat me up. Let the horse come here. Bai Yu stretched out his right hand, pointed his index finger at Yin Tianyu and ticked off. You're going to get beaten anyway, so what's wrong with being arrogant? Besides, if Yin Tianyu is not angered, how can he have the opportunity to test new skills? Faced with Bai Yu's provocation, Yin Tianyu certainly couldn't bear it. If he didn't loosen his skin today, he might be sorry for his arrogant attitude. Then I will fulfill you. Yin Tianyu strode forward, his feet pounding on the ground, and went straight to Bai Yu. When he reached in front of Bai Yu, he punched Bai Yu. Bai Yu was also well prepared. When Yin Tianyu swung his fist, he had already raised his arms in front of his chest, ready to block. Boom, click. After one punch, Bai Yu's arm snapped off. The body that flew upside down hit the wall behind it, and bounced back again. After 2 days, Yin Tianyu had a very clear grasp of Bai Yu's physical strength. A single punch would neither kill Bai Yu nor seriously injure him. But this time, he miscalculated Bai Yu's situation. After Bai Yu's body bounced back, he did not fall to the ground, but landed firmly on the floor. Bai Yu's body squatted down slightly, and his arms, which should have been broken, pressed lightly on the ground, and he rushed out fiercely, and he was in front of Yin Tianyu in an instant. And on his outstretched right hand, there was a hazy ball of light. With the momentum of the forward charge, Bai Yu pressed the light ball of his right hand on Yin Tianyu's chest. The light group entered the body. Yin Tianyu was taken aback, and then tore off his clothes. Where Bai Yu's palm touches, there is a red palm print. You can actually hurt me. Yin Tianyu did not continue to attack, but looked at Bai Yu. Although it was just a red palm print and no other scars, it also meant that his subcutaneous capillaries had ruptured. Bai Yu is only level 20, where does he have such destructive power? How did you do it? Seeing that Bai Yu was able to exert such great destructive power, even Yin Tianyu, who had a physical body with a level 70 strength system, could be hurt. Hey, this is my new awakening skill. Graft. This skill is divided into 2 small skills. Yua, you can instantly peel off the injury and store it. Backing wood, you can directly inject the stored injuries into the target's body, allowing them to suffer the same degree of injuries. The specific power is still in the testing stage. Bai Yu briefly explained the function of his new awakening technique. Peel off the injury in an instant. Is this the reason why you were fine even though I broke your arm just now? Inject the stored injury into the target's body and let it suffer the same degree of injury, but I didn't break my arm, and I left a red palm print. Yin Tianyu touched the palm print on his chest. It hurt a little. This is the first time I use this skill, and the specific reason is not clear. However, according to my speculation, the so-called injuries of the same degree do not mean that if I break my leg, you will also break my leg. It should be like the deduction of blood in the game. You knocked out 80 drops of my blood with one punch, but my total blood volume is only 100, so I will be seriously injured. But your own blood has 10,000, and the damage of these 80 drops of blood is irrelevant to you. Bai Yu spoke out his speculation. Then your skills are useless. Those who can be seriously injured by your skills are basically of the same level as you. If you can press the skills on your body, you can naturally stab the knife in. Then you have to waste what is that spirit power for? Zhang Feifei thought for a while and said, you can't say that. The injury I pulled out by myself is of course of little use, but what if it was pulled out from Instructor Yin? He stabbed himself. According to the calculation of blood volume, even if 800 blood is deducted from his 10,000 blood volume, it is not a serious injury to him, but if the 800 blood is taken out, injected into your blood volume of 1 or 2,000, then, what will the consequences be? Everyone's eyes lit up when they heard Bai Yu's words. The power of this skill is that as long as the target to remove the injury is strong enough, the damage will directly explode. Of course, the premise is that Bai Yu has enough spiritual power. The skill of transferring flowers and trees is indeed very powerful and practical. For a moment, Yin Tianyu wanted Bai Yu to try to see if he could help him pull out the poison in his body. Your skill, shouldn't it be the same as the first awakening skill, which draws spiritual power according to the injury? Yin Tianyu still has a glimmer of hope. All my awakening skills draw spiritual power according to the injury. Bai Yu's answer completely wiped out Yin Tianyu's hope of healing his injury now. This is a magical skill. If used well, it can not only save lives, but also kill people. A healing system that is no longer afraid of fighting seems to be a bit of a supermodel. Xiao Qian thought about it carefully, and the targets they compared were all level 70 Yin Tianyu. Even if he was a little inferior, he was still level 40. Don't forget, Bai Yu is only level 20. He ran beyond level 10 to fight, and his opponent was only level 30. Can he be as fierce as them? Are you so resistant to beating? If calculated according to Bai Yu's HP theory, Bai Yu's HP is 100, and Yin Tianyu's HP is 10,000, level 30 can support 1000 HP. That's a lot of room to maneuver. It took Bai Yu almost no effort to remove the wound on his body. According to his own estimate, his limit may be to be able to pull out the near-death injury suffered by a person of Xiao Qian's level. If it was an injury of this level, even if it was injected into a level 50 human body, it would be enough for him to drink a pot. Bai Yu's new awakening skill is very powerful, which makes everyone more confident in the upcoming hunter competition. The treatment at other people's homes is to try every means to protect them, for fear of being hurt a little bit. My family's healer is not afraid at all. Although the level is low, his combat power is overwhelming. As long as he is not killed by an assassin, if he fights head-on, even a level 40 assassin may not be able to beat him. Even he himself has the ability to charge. As long as the opponent's lineup of strength and animal transformation are taken away, and there are only a bunch of elements and healing left, it seems that there is no problem even if Bai Yu is allowed to charge the battle. Why can't our awakening skills be stronger? Someone is wailing. Hearing this voice, Bai Yu was still a little proud. Brother's data is not in the same area as yours, can it be compared? We are men in the experimental area. Bai Yu was a little complacent about this. Today is the last day for everyone to be together. Tomorrow, Xiao Chen's team will set off for a challenge tour, and teams from other countries will also set off tomorrow. Nearer countries may be able to arrive tomorrow afternoon. The next day, banners were pulled up at the gate of the National Defense University, with various words wishing the players a triumphant return. At the gate, a guard of honor with strict military appearance is lined up at the gate, and a military band is playing impassioned military songs beside it. The two participating teams are also in military uniform at this time, and they are heroic. At the school gate, many passing students and pedestrians stopped to watch. The hunter competition is held every 2 years. Some students have never seen such a scene, so they are very curious. The mobilization meeting was held before Bai Yu came, and this time everything was kept simple, because we were in a hurry after all. The school leader just said a few words of encouragement, and then joined them, as if waiting for something. Not long after, a military helicopter appeared over the National Defense University and landed towards the playground. Who? Such a big show. Bai Yu, who was standing beside Zhang Feifei, asked quietly. I don't know who it is, but it is said that it is Xiao Qian's team leader. Instructor Yin is in charge of our side. When they go out, there must be a team leader. It seems to be a very important person. Zhang Feifei kept her eyes fixed, her lips moved slightly, and said softly. Something's wrong. Has anyone seen a black military uniform? Standing on the other side of Bai Yu is a veterinarian named Kong Ming in Liu Beibei's team. His bestialization direction is an eagle, so his eyesight is very good. Black military uniform. Could it be someone from Longwei? Instructor Yin is from the former Dragon Guard. He is in charge of our team. The team that went out should be similar. Bai Yu guessed. No, I heard Instructor Yin mention that Longwei's military uniform seems to be red, not black. Who would that be? Kong Ming's words attracted the attention of many people, and more people participated in the discussion. Although they were talking, each of them stood up straight and as steady as a pine, but their mouths were slightly opening and closing, and they spoke in a low voice. You said, could it be Zhanfang? Someone made a wild guess. Zhanfang. That's a bit exaggerated. It's not impossible. After all, when you go abroad to challenge, it will be easier for someone to play dirty tricks on other people's territory. You have to guard against it. The people from Zhanfang will definitely make it impossible for those who want to play tricks. Okay, stop talking, people are coming. Seeing the person getting closer, Liu Beibei quickly reminded him. After the visitor got closer, Bai Yu and the others also saw clearly the clothes on the person. The appearance of the clothes is no different from the ones on them, just the style of ordinary clothes. But the color is indeed pure black, and even the epaulettes on the shoulders are dark, so you can't recognize it unless you look carefully. But at such a short distance, they can still see clearly. Lieutenant General, The epaulets of the person who came here suddenly belong to a lieutenant general. Judging from his age, he should be about the same age as Yin Tianyu. It is an exaggeration for Yin Tianyu to be a major general, but this person is actually a lieutenant general. Everyone who saw the military rank of the incoming person couldn't help but push their chests higher. I thought that this person would say something after he came, but I saw him walking directly in front of Xiao Qian. After looking him up and down, he said lightly, "Let's go." Afterwards, no one paid any attention to them and directly boarded the car specially prepared for them. Xiao Qian led the team to follow, but Bai Yu and others were a little puzzled. With so many people waiting for you for so long, don't you plan to say something? However, the person has already left, and it is useless to look at it again. You can't pull him back and let him say a few words. I didn't expect him to come. After the car drove away, Yin Tianyu said in a low voice. Who is he? Do you know him? Bai Yu was not far away from him, and after hearing his words, he leaned over and asked. Enrolled. Who asked you to come out? Seeing Bai Yu running out of the queue just like that, Yin Tianyu's face darkened and he yelled at him back. However, Xiao Qian and the others have already set off, and they should also get ready and wait for the challenger who is coming. After the team disbanded, Yin Tianyu led the team to the venue for the competition to wait. It is said to be the competition venue, but it is actually a space similar to the glazed tower, except that there are no monsters in it, and the scene changes randomly. The only regret is that the map is not optional. Every time you enter, whatever scene is arranged by the system, that is the scene, and you can't do targeted exercises, so during this time, they haven't come into practice, and they have been upgrading and improving their personal strength. But being able to wait for work at ease is also a home field advantage. The team that came to challenge will be more or less affected by the fatigue of the journey and the acclimatization of the environment. In fact, they don't need to wait in the arena, because the challenge team will not come directly to meet with them, but will be received by a department in charge of these matters. When the challenge team feels that they have rested and can play, they will send out an application and then arrange the time. But early this morning, they had already been notified that a team had already arrived in Huasha yesterday, and they submitted the challenge application early this morning. Naturally, the response to this kind of application submitted through the normal procedure was very fast, so the first match was directly scheduled for the afternoon. Now Bai Yu and the others are waiting for that team to come over. Instructor Yin, you haven't said who that person is yet. At this time, when he was free, Bai Yu seized the opportunity and joined Yin Tianyu again. He's from Zhanfang. Yin Tianyu glanced at Bai Yu, and then his gaze drifted into the distance, as if caught in a memory. I was nominated by Zhanfang back then, and he was the one who took us through the assessment. His name is Yanqing, and he is a wood-type awakener above level 80. Do you think there is nothing special about the wood system? Yin Tianyu looked at Bai Yu. Bai Yu nodded. The wood type is indeed an attribute without any special features. Unless this person is a wood treatment. What's special about him is that he is a wood element. A person who was selected by Zhanfang with a not strong wood element and successfully passed the assessment, do you think it will be easy? Unfortunately, even he couldn't save them. Yin Tianyu's eyes dimmed, as if recalling some sad memories. Who are they? Bai Yu looked at Yin Tianyu and asked. They are my former teammates, those who participated in the Zhanfang assessment with me. At the beginning, our assessment task was to repel a group of poisoned awakened people who tried to enter the country illegally. However, no one expected that among them, there was actually a level 79 poison awakener, and we were all recruited. In the entire team, only I survived with my strong physical attributes, and the others. Later, Yan Qing, who was in charge of our team's assessment, rushed over, rescued me, and killed all the opponents except the poisonous one, but he was an offensive wooden one, not a healer. Teammates, they couldn't make it to the end. There seemed to be tears glistening in Yin Tianyu's tiger eyes. Sorry. Bai Yu apologized in a low voice, but he didn't know, so he asked his name, which brought back sad memories for Yin Tianyu. It's okay, let's take a look at our opponent's information first, come here. Yin Tianyu cleared up his mood, and then called everyone over. After the team submits the challenge application, it can obtain the information of the challenge team, and at the same time, its own information will also be obtained by the opponent. After everyone gathered around, Yin Tianyu turned on the projection function of his watch and projected the opponent's information on the virtual screen in the air. Nationality of the team, Taijutsu. Team members, Jin Ziyuan. Attribute Fire, level 40. Piao Zheng. Attribute Light, level 38. Kim Tae Yun. Attribute Earth, level 39. There are 10 people in total, and the basic information is all displayed on it. As for the detailed information, such as what awakening skills are there and how effective they are, these things cannot be seen. Taiji country. For this country, there are some troubles. Yin Tianyu didn't speak, but Kongming spoke first. What's wrong with this country? Bai Yu really doesn't know about other countries. For more than 10 years, he has been more concerned about how to not be bullied, how to live a better life, and how to make the brothers and sisters in the orphanage smile happily. This country is notoriously ignorant of martial arts, and there is no trace of competitive spirit at all. But this time, I'm not afraid of them. With the system as the referee, they can't use any despicable methods. After all, the system doesn't have any blind spots. If they dare to play small tricks, they will definitely be punished. Kongming explained. It turns out that's the case. After they can't play tricks, they won't be anything to be afraid of. Bai Yu asked. You're thinking too simply. We really haven't found a way to exploit the loopholes in the system, but that doesn't mean others haven't found one either. We have to guard against it. Besides, the despicability of this country is far beyond your imagination. Maybe there will be actions aimed at killing opponents during the competition. Everyone, be careful. Kongming said seriously. Kongming is right. The reputation of this country is like this. For many years, they seem to have no idea what shame is. Even if the whole world criticizes them, they have no intention of repenting at all, and even worsened. It's better for everyone to keep an eye on the game against them. If Kongming's words were due to his personal prejudice against this country, then Yin Tianyu's words undoubtedly made everyone believe a little bit more. Besides, there are all kinds of bad stories about this country on the internet, so there is no need to slander them. As for today's game, let's take a look at their individual battles first, and then arrange the next players. Now, let's decide who will participate in the individual battle. Kongming, Zhang Wei, Liao Hua, the three of you go first in the individual battle. The two of you turn into a power system. No matter who the opponent sends out, you will not be restrained. Do your best and try to score 3 points first. Yin Tianyu made arrangements for the upcoming competition. Yes. The three people headed by Kongming replied. Kongming's animal form is an eagle with fast speed and sharp attack. Zhang Wei's beast is a leopard, and he is also a speed player, and his offensive ability is not inferior to Kongming. And Liao Hua is of the strength department, with rough skin and thick flesh. Not only can he withstand beatings, once he gets close to him, Doda's iron fist is not a vegetarian. At around 10 o'clock in the morning, a bus drove into the campus of National Defense University and headed straight for the competition venue. Hearing the movement outside, everyone came out to check. The bus stopped, and a group of handsome men and women got off the bus. Well, they were born by the same mother. Bai Yu, who was walking in front, looked at the people getting off the car, and scratched his head with his hand. This group of people looked handsome as men and as beautiful as women, but they always felt that something was wrong. Upon closer inspection, I realized that they looked a little too much alike. It's okay to appear together now, I can barely see some subtle differences. If this appeared alone, I thought it was the same person, walking back and forth many times. Bah, who has a football team? They were not born by the same mother, it should be said that they were made by a doctor. Zhang Feifei came over, looked at the Taiji Kingdom team, and then whispered in Bai Yu's ear. A doctor? What do you mean? Bai Yu still doesn't understand. Plastic surgery is very popular in their country, and almost everyone wants plastic surgery, big or small. It is said that when a child in their country is born, his parents have prepared money for plastic surgery for him. Zhang Feifei said, what's the point of this? Two good-looking people gave birth to an ugly ghost, wouldn't they feel uncomfortable? Bai Yu said puzzled. It must be uncomfortable, that's why I prepared the money for plastic surgery as soon as I was born. Bai Yu and Zhang Feifei were whispering here, while Yin Tianyu was already communicating with the team leader of Taiji Kingdom about the competition. I didn't think it was very good looking after the whole thing. The women are okay, but the men always feel that there are shortcomings. Bai Yu looked at it for a long time, but couldn't tell what was missing. What's missing? At this time, Zhang Wei, who was standing behind Bai Yu, couldn't help asking when he heard Bai Yu's words. Bai Yu looked back at him. I know what's missing, lack of masculinity. Zhang Wei's bestiality is a leopard, not the three-dimensional and five-thick type, but his body is not explosive but extremely well-coordinated muscles, as well as the resolute temperament of a soldier, made Bai Yu suddenly just thought of the answer. Indeed, all the men in the Taiji kingdom look more feminine, and some even subconsciously lift their hair, looking like a fool. Stop talking, they are here, pay attention to the impact. Seeing that Yin Tianyu had brought the Tai Chi Kingdom team over, Zhang Feifei hurriedly said. So, everyone shut up and stopped talking. Since everyone is ready, let's start. Finish the fight early, and we have to go to the next country. The leader of the Taiji Kingdom is also a handsome man with a feminine character. Everyone can understand what he said, but he always feels awkward. This is the automatic translation function of the watches on their bodies. Translating the native language of the leader of the Taiji Kingdom into Huasha, it will naturally sound awkward. HMPH. Then come. The words of the leader of the Taiji Kingdom made Yin Tianyu very upset. His tone reveals a sense of superiority and invincibility, as if the victory is already in their pocket and the game is just a process. It is rumored that people in the Taiji Kingdom are extremely arrogant, claiming to be invincible in the universe. It seems to be true. The Huasha team started talking again. Invincible in the universe. Tisk tisk. How dare they say that? Yeah, I don't know where the confidence comes from. Brother Kong, it's up to you in a while. First give them a blow, and be tough, don't be polite to me. Bai Yu looked at the three of Kongming who were already scheduled to play in the individual competition and said. Don't worry, I have long disliked them, and I don't know that their technological face can withstand a few punches from me. Kongming squeezed his finger bones until they crackled. Compared with the excitement of the Huasha team, the Tai Chi Kingdom seemed a bit arrogant. There was no communication between them, and they all looked at this side with contemptuous eyes, obviously not paying attention to the Huasha team, inside. Since the two sides had no intention of communicating, the match began immediately. The players of both sides entered the preparation room, and when they were ready, they could directly enter the field through the space doors in their respective preparation rooms. Kongming played in the Huasha team's first game, and he didn't procrastinate. He greeted the others and stepped directly into the space door. The moment Kongming stepped into the space gate, the scene in front of him changed. He stood in a wilderness, surrounded by green mountains and green waters, and the scenery was picturesque. Tisk tisk, isn't it a pity to destroy such a beautiful place? However, Kongming just said it casually, and he also knew that this was a virtual environment generated by the system, let alone smashed it. Even if it was smashed to pieces, the system can be restored. Not long after Kongming entered, contestants from Taiji Kingdom also entered. Zilla. The moment the Tai Chi country player appeared, he threw a cloud of lightning directly in the direction of Kongming. Lei Guang's speed was very fast. He crossed half the distance in a blink of an eye, startled Kongming, and quickly turned on beast transformation. Although he knew that the other party didn't talk about Wood, he didn't expect that it was a sneak attack. However, the thunder light did not hit Kongming. It wasn't that Kongming hid quickly, but that there was an invisible barrier in the center between the two. The thunder light was blocked by the barrier and couldn't go beyond it. Although it was a false alarm, Kongming's face turned cold. The process of the Hunter contest is broadcast live all over the world. As long as you access the system network, you can watch it. And there are broadcasts on other platforms. It can be said that Kongming's embarrassment just now can be seen by the whole world. And Kongming also knew this, that's why his face was so ugly. Now, shame on the whole world. The other party sneaked up on him when he came up. Obviously he was used to being shameless, but he was not used to it. You wait for me, Kongming said to himself. He didn't cancel the animalization, but spread out a pair of wings and bowed his body slightly. 3, 2, 1. Ready to go. Words like this suddenly flashed in the sky. It looked like the preparation animation of the King of Fighters before the start of the fight. Just when the letters disappeared, the barrier in the middle disappeared along with it. At the same time, the wings on Kong Ming's back fluttered, turned into a streamer and shot towards the opponent. For his opponent, Kong Ming naturally knew something about it. Before the individual competition started, the opponent's information would be announced, so Kong Ming knew that the opponent was an awakened person of the lightning system. Of course, his opponent also knew Kong Ming's ability, so he attacked him as soon as he came up. In the end, because I was not familiar with the rules, I suffered a big loss. In the brochure given before the game, it didn't say that there was still a countdown. The lightning attack speed is super fast. The main reason is that most of its skills are instant, and only a few powerful skills need to be charged. However, the speed of lightning skills has nothing to do with the speed of the awakened person himself. The lightning-type awakener named Park Jung-tae's movement speed was as slow as a snail in front of Kong Ming, who was good at speed. In just a blink of an eye, Kong Ming had already arrived in front of Park Jung-tae, and his huge fist had already hit his face. Nice. In the preparation room, everyone applauded for Kong Ming's handsome blow. Thunderstorm. However, the situation on the field was not as everyone expected, and Park Jung-tae was not blown away by Kong Ming's punch. On the contrary, Kong Ming, who was attacking with all his strength, was hit straight by the sudden thunderstorm. The whole person flew upside down for dozens of meters, and rolled a few times before stopping after landing. And his pair of wings, which were originally black, were emitting black smoke right now. You know I'm from the lightning element, how could I not know that you are from the eagle to the beast? Compared to speed, I am indeed not as good as you, but my lightning element can be cast instantly. As long as you dare to attack, I can throw skills with my eyes closed, and I can hit you. Thunderstorm is a skill that doesn't need a target, because this awakening skill itself is centered on itself, releasing a powerful lightning field for indiscriminate attacks. As Park Jung-tae said, he only needs to close his eyes and release his skills. Made. Kong Ming cursed angrily and struggled to get up. He looks miserable, but he's actually in pretty good shape. The scorched feathers have no effect on him, it is formed by spiritual power, and it can be recovered only by re-injecting spiritual power. And there is nothing serious about the body. After all, he is a veterinarian, even if he is not the main defense, his physical strength is not weak. In this case, let's see who can last longer. After finishing speaking, Kong Ming re-injected his wings with spiritual power, and then attacked again. Thunderstorm. Sure enough, as he himself said, as long as Kong Ming launched an attack, he would directly start a thunderstorm and attack indiscriminately, and Kong Ming could not get close at all. But Kong Ming's original intention was not to get close. He is for consumption. His beast transformation requires constant consumption of spiritual power to maintain the beast transformation form, but the consumption is pitifully small, because this is a talent skill of the beast transformation department, and the spiritual power that is continuously consumed cannot recover as quickly as he does. And Park Jung-tae can't do it. The lightning attack is powerful, and the price paid is naturally a huge amount of spiritual power consumption. Not to mention that Kong Ming didn't use the awakening skill every time he charged. Even if he used it, the consumption would be much less than that of Park Jung-tae. And Park Jung-tae, who thought he had succeeded, realized something was wrong after several consecutive thunderstorms blasted into the air. Kong Ming fainted every time, and stopped after rushing. In contrast, Park Jung-tae has nothing to do. His eyes couldn't keep up with Kong Ming's movement speed at all, and he didn't dare to bet on which time Kong Ming was true and which time was false. Therefore, as soon as Kong Ming moved, he had to drive a thunderstorm. After several times in a row, Park Jung-tae couldn't stand it any longer. The reason why he came in a few seconds later than Kong Ming was because he listened to his teammates. They discussed it before they set off, and before entering the competition venue, delay as long as possible, and then everyone will give him an idea based on the information of the opponent's player. When Kong Ming's name appeared, the members of the Taiji Kingdom, who had already memorized the Washa team's lineup by heart, immediately knew Kong Ming's characteristics and then gave suggestions. Now it seems that the plan that I thought was foolproof seems to have trapped myself in it. Kong Ming is now playing him like a monkey. As long as Kong Ming moves, he will explode a ball of thunder, like setting off fireworks. Come on, let's set off some fireworks for Grandpa. Kong Ming stood not far from Park Jung-tae, looked at him and said, Of course, Park Jung-tae couldn't really listen to Kong Ming's words and set off fireworks for him. He just looked at Kong Ming with a strange look. Like fear, but also like begging for mercy. He knows that if this continues, he will definitely lose, but he is very helpless. In the past, in China, he boasted that the Taiji kingdom was invincible in the universe every day, and said that he would kill all directions in the hunter competition. The results of it. This is the first game, and he was forced into this situation. The embarrassment in my heart is beyond words. However, he didn't want to take the initiative to admit defeat. He couldn't beat him again and again, and he didn't want to admit defeat. From now on, every second would be a torment for him. Ha, dare you be disobedient? Kong Ming smiled evilly, stretched his figure, and rushed out. Zilla. At the same time, Park Jung-tae fired a thunderstorm directly like a reflex. In the end, it turned out that Kong Ming was still in place, looking at him with a smile on his face. He was about to vomit blood. That's good. Come again. Kong Ming charged again, and the thunderstorm reappeared. Pu Jung-tae didn't want to listen to him, but he didn't let the thunderstorm go. What if Kong Ming really charged? The more Kong Ming played, the happier he was. The smile on his face became abnormal. Let's play again. Kong Ming rushed out again. As a result, this time, the expected thunderstorm did not appear. Kong Ming looked at Park Jung-tae in surprise. Could it be that he can already see through his actions? But what Kong Ming saw was a face that was somewhat exhausted and pale. Beads of sweat slid down Park Jung-tae's handsome face, and then dripped to the ground. And there was already a puddle of water stains. Tisk tisk, that's not okay, is it so vain? Kong Ming didn't forget to mock him. Since there is nothing to play, it should be over. Kong Ming rushed forward, grabbed Pu Jung-tae's long hair that he thought was flowing, and pressed his head into the soil. This is because Kong Ming didn't have the intention to kill, otherwise, he could directly grab Park Jung-tae's throat with his eagle claws. Park Jung-tae had no ability to resist at all. The system directly judged that he failed, and then sent him out of the competition field. Kong Ming, who was the winner, also spread the word. This is an individual competition, you have to end after one round. Tisk tisk, almost capsized in the gutter. As soon as Kong Ming came out, he heard his teammates making fun of him. Careless, careless, Kong Ming smiled awkwardly. During the joke just now, he thought his teammates would ignore his unfavorable start, but in the end, these guys just grabbed at it. What a bunch of cattle. After the first round ended, the second round started immediately after a short break. In the second game, the Washa team will be played by Zhang Wei. Everyone didn't think about the delayed entry of the Taiji kingdom just now. Anyway, the battle list has been released. Do they dare to change players temporarily? This time, after Zhang Wei entered the venue, the scene changed again. It was no longer the green mountains and green waters when Kong Ming was fighting just now, but a small wooden house. The wooden house is divided into 2 floors. Zhang Wei is on the first floor. In the corner, there is a wooden staircase leading to the second floor. After watching the first game, they all understood that the second floor was probably the area before the game started. Zhang Wei is on the first floor, so the opponent must be on the second floor. Everyone has seen Zhang Wei's opponent's profile. Lee Sang-taek, Fire Attribute Awakener, level 39. This is the second Fire Awakener in the Taiji Kingdom team. Aizawa, use your fire to separate him, use long range. After discovering that his opponent was a beast, before Lee Sang-taek entered the arena, he heard a teammate yelling at him. Divide the battlefield and play long range. Isn't this the common fighting method of the elemental system? He can do it. After entering the field, he also deduced instantly that the opponent must be downstairs. So, he was very confident and threw a firewall towards the stairs. Li Shang's is very confident. With his fire ability, even if the opponent is a beast, it is impossible to pass through his own wall of fire without injury. Even if the opponent wants to fight him in close quarters at the risk of being injured, then he is not afraid. He also has a trick called Resist Fire Ring, which can push away enemies who are close to him. In this small space, being hit by the Resistance Fire Ring is more than just being pushed away. It pushes opponents against the wall and burns them all the way. Li Shang's had already thought about how to proceed with the match, but after the countdown, the opponent did not show up at the stairs. The firewall has been burning for a while. The wooden stairs had started to burn automatically, but because the space was too small and airtight, it started to emit thick smoke. Ahem. Li Shang's was coughing because of the thick smoke coming up, but he didn't dare to extinguish the firewall, let alone go down. Go on. Isn't that sent to the opponent to be beaten? He won't do it. Therefore, he can only endure it. And what is his opponent, Zhang Wei, doing? Well, he did nothing. After seeing his opponent throw a wall of fire at the stairs, he actually turned around and left, went to the downstairs room, rummaged around, and then found a book, found a chair, and went like that. One at the top of the stairs. Set fire in the house. Are you still on the second floor? Let's see who can't stand it first. As a veterinarian who is good at close combat, Zhang Wei has no desire to rush over this time. He was reading like this, while listening to the coughing upstairs, and looked up at the stairs from time to time. Until the coughing sound got closer and closer, a figure jumped down from the stairs in embarrassment. Zhang Wei threw the book and landed his hands on the ground, and the beast instantly turned into a leopard. To be precise, it is half a leopard, because he still retains some human characteristics. Finally, I'm willing to come down. Looking at the embarrassed opponent, Zhang Wei didn't show mercy at all. With a flick of his legs on the wall, he threw Li Shang's off the stairs. The leopard claws turned into hands pressed against his throat. With just a little force, Li Sang Taek's young life will bid farewell to this world. The system is omnipotent. After Li Shang's felt suffocated, his spirit fluctuated violently, and he sent a message that he wanted to admit defeat. He was detected by the system and directly sentenced to lose, and then sent him out. Ha 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 ha, I can't stop laughing. In the preparation room, a group of people were laughing up and down. If you set yourself on fire, there will be no one left. Before even seeing their opponents, the members of the Taiji kingdom gave themselves a smoky meal, and then sent themselves in front of Zhang Wei. Zhang Wei won a victory without any effort at all. Are they here to be funny? Before the game, he looked like he was the only one in the world, but in the end he entered the game, and each one was more funny than the other. Cut. It's boring. I thought it would be a hard fight, but ended up winning the game in such a dramatic way. Zhang Wei was a little upset. This is just the beginning. You will fight in the future. Don't think that we can relax and wait for work by guarding the house. In fact, we are much more tired than Xiaoqian and the others. Yin Tianyu saw that everyone seemed to be a little slack, and couldn't help but remind them. Ah, how come? Shouldn't they be more tired, running around all the time, chasing one after another? The players haven't figured it out yet. Hey, think about it, they have been on their way, but when they get to the place, they can take a rest and challenge again. If teams from several countries are there, they still have to line up. What about us? If someone comes to challenge, we have to fight. Now there is only a team from one country, which is of course easy, but teams from most countries are already on the way. If several teams come to challenge together on the same day, that's fine. You have to line up to fight, we'll battle. Do you think you are tired? Yin Tianyu explained. If you think about it carefully, this is indeed the case. There are hundreds of countries in the world, large and small, who can guarantee that they will play 1 or 2 games a day. They can wait, but they don't want to wait, they are still rushing to finish the game and go to the next one. So, in the competition, try to win with the fastest speed and the most energy-saving way, and reduce your own consumption. Otherwise, even if someone rotates, the speed of recovery will not be able to keep up with the speed of consumption. With Yin Tianyu's reminder, everyone realized that their task is very difficult. Then I'll try to hurry up next time. Liao Hua got up and walked towards the space door. Come on, everyone cheer him on. After Liao Hua entered the arena, the scene changed again. This time it was the endless Gobi Desert. From afar, you could still see huge cactuses and tumbleweeds rolling all over the ground. Tisk tisk, it's a bit difficult. Looking at the open terrain, Liao Hua murmured to himself. His opponent is an awakened wind element. In such an open place, it would be difficult for him to catch the opponent. The speed of the power system is not slow, but the speed of the wind system is faster. This time, he is more likely to be kited by the opposite side. Just as Liao Hua expected, his opponent came in after a few seconds. This time, he didn't sneak attack through the barrier, but before the countdown started, he put on a cloud body wind body that speeds up his movement. This skill that can increase the movement speed by 60% is enough to keep him from being overtaken by Liao Hua. Rippy. Liao Hua sighed helplessly. Before the game even started, the opponent was already buffing him, but Liao Hua had nothing to do with him. 3, 2, 1, the countdown is over. The contestants from the Taiji Kingdom directly wanted to run away from Liao Hua, and then shot a few wind blades. Liao Hua, who planned to pursue him, had no choice but to stop. Instructor Yin said that we can't fight a war of attrition, but others won't give us the chance. There is no way, such a game can only be delayed and wasted. Liao Hua used his own HP to drag down the mana of the opponent. Keeping the distance, the invincible Tai Chi country players started their indiscriminate bombardment of wind-type awakening skills. Skills, big and small, were thrown towards Liao Hua continuously. This was a pain for Liao Hua. He could only take out a shield, and then activated 5 times the power to resist with his body. But the shield can only resist the wind blade from the front, and it can't do anything for some area damage skills. I have to say that the strength department is really resistant to beating. Although Liao Hua was covered in blood from the awakening skill of the wind element, it was all skin trauma. You are the only one who can attack from a distance, right? Liao Hua poked his head from behind the shield to glance at the opponent who was standing in the distance and refused to come over, and cursed. None of the strength-type awakening skills have long-range attacks. But as long as the mind does not slip, there are always more solutions than difficulties. Liao Hua bent down to pick up a fist-sized stone from the ground, and threw it at the opponent with all his might. The strength department does not have long-range attack methods, but they are very strong. Even if they throw stones, the lethality is no worse than bullets. The wind-type player was throwing his skills in the distance, and he felt something passing by his ear, which scared him into a cold sweat. There is no way. Liao Hua is very powerful, but this is accurate, so I am embarrassed to take it out. However, Liao Hua also has his own way. Since you can't achieve precise strikes, then cover them with firepower. Anyway, there are many rocks on the ground. Liao Hua also went all out, using the opponent's skills, picking up stones all over the ground and confronting him. Anyway, I have rough skin and thick flesh, at worst, I will get hurt and bleed a little. But if the opponent is hit by his own stone, it will be fun. If he accidentally hit him on the head, the mysterious system might not be able to save him. The opponent is obviously aware of this, and while releasing his skills, he moves and dodges. However, does evasion really work? Liao Hua didn't aim and hit, he just threw it indiscriminately. Whether he can hit it or not, he doesn't know. The main thing is to make a miracle with great effort. Therefore, there is no point in blindly dodging, unless you have spotted it before you dodge, otherwise, you might run into it. The eyesight of this wind element awakener is still good, and he has avoided several stone attacks in a row. However, can he really keep avoiding such a dense rain of stones? Ah, there was a scream, and he was finally hit. After the screams, the raging wind stopped abruptly. Only then did Liao Hua stop the fire coverage. Hey, compare consumption with me. Why do you? Liao Hua wiped the blood on his face, swung his arms and rushed over. When Liao Hua passed by, he saw a man lying on the ground with a face full of pain. On his shoulder, there was a blood hole the size of a fist, and blood was constantly spraying out. It's a bit miserable. Liao Hua was tall and tall, with a simple and honest appearance, but what he said was a little out of place. People are so miserable, who did it? There is no need to guess the result of this game anymore. The Tai Chi player who was injured like this is obviously powerless to fight again. Yo, it's miserable. Need treatment. Although he was asking, Baiyu had already stretched out his hand. A teammate was injured, and as the team's healer, he naturally had to help him recover as soon as possible. Moreover, the earlier the treatment, the less energy will be dissipated and the more absorbed and transformed, the best of both worlds. The individual competition ended perfectly, the next group arena is up to you. Liao Hua's injuries recovered quickly under Baiyu's healing skills. He found a comfortable place to sit down and looked at Liu Beibei. Well, the opponent has already played 3 people, and it is impossible for these 3 people to play again in the group arena. In the first 3 matches, they didn't have a melee fight, so there will definitely be a group arena match. However, there are a lot of close combat in our team, so we are not afraid to fight. Besides, the group arena is also a one-on-one fight. No matter whether it is close combat or long-distance combat, no one can say that it has an absolute advantage. It depends on performance. However, that level 40 guy in their team should play in the group arena, everyone be careful. Yin Tianyu looked at the other party's member profile and said to everyone, "Well, I'll also play in the group arena, and we'll see who performs better then." Liu Beibei nodded and said, "In fact, she is being humble. In terms of attributes, her Tiangong attribute is 10 blocks behind the fire attribute in terms of rarity and power. The fire attribute may become stronger due to personal use or the power of awakening skills, but it remains the same. Even if it is strong, it is limited. And Liu Beibei's Heavenly Palace attribute is unique. The Heavenly Palace creatures she summoned, probably only Xiao Qian's underworld can compete with them. Well, let's get ready. You will play as the third pick. In the first 2 games, did anyone ask to play?" I. After Yin Tianyu finished speaking, a group of people raised their hands high, expressing their willingness to fight. "Get out. You 3 have played individual competitions, why are you joining in the fun? And you, Bai Yu, are you sure you can make it?" Yin Tianyu looked at Bai Yu, who was booing and raising his hands together with everyone, wishing to beat him up again. "Hey, it's not impossible. As long as I get close to their elemental system, it's not impossible to fight." Happy Bai Yu. It is good to have strong teammates, there is no pressure at all. Everyone is very active, so there is no difference between raising your hand and not raising your hand. In the end, Yin Tianyu can only choose by himself. Liu Beibei is definitely going to go. Zhang Feifei and Bai Yu are excluded, they are not suitable for this kind of individual competition. Huang Zhang, you go with Zhao Yun. In the end, Yin Tianyu singled out the 2 of them. Huang Zhang, Animalization Department, level 39. It stands to reason that Huang Zhang is not suitable for individual matches, because his animalization is purely defensive. Spirit Turtle, this is a monster whose defense is abnormally strong, but its attack power is average, and its speed is its weak point. Of course, Yin Tianyu sent him out for consideration. Everything will be revealed in the game. In the first round of the group arena, Zhao Yun will play. Zhao Yun's attributes are also somewhat special. He is from the Agile department. The speed is so fast. Moreover, he is not purely fast, he can also turn this extremely fast speed into extremely strong attack power. It can be said that he is a sharp sword. On the other side of the Tai Chi Kingdom, the first one to appear was a beast transformation department, Zhang Yunlu, Bison, level 39. Just like before, they also played a few seconds late, probably because they wanted to see who the Washa team sent, and then make targeted arrangements. And Zhang Yunlu's Wild Bull animalization, which combines strength and defense, seems to be able to restrain the agility type Zhao Yun. But is this really the case? The difference between a group arena match and an individual match is that the individual competition is to play a game and change places, and the group arena is a scene until the end, so after entering the venue, getting familiar with the venue is also a task. After Zhao Yun came in, he didn't see his opponent, so he was not in a hurry, and just circled around in place. In the preparation room, they could see the situation in the arena. With Zhao Yun's movement, they also familiarized themselves with the venue for the group arena. This is an arena with a large open space in the middle and auditoriums around it. The ground is 5 meters high from the auditorium. This height is insurmountable for ordinary people, but for awakened people, most of them have a way to go up. And Zhao Yun is no exception, and he also wants to know if the auditorium can also go up. Zhao Yun walked to the edge of the arena, his legs were bent, and he jumped onto the auditorium with a light leap. "Sure enough, you can come up, so, can you go out?" After Zhao Yun entered the auditorium, he didn't stop, but walked out of the arena. In the center of the auditorium on all sides, there is a passage leading to the outside. Zhao Yun walked out along this passage. The passage is not long, about 10 meters long, and a corridor can be seen at the end of the passage. When Zhao Yun walked to the end of the passage, he found that the entrance of the passage was lit up with a red light, and it kept flashing. He knew that this was a warning from the system, and if he insisted on going out, he might be directly judged as a failure. Zhao Yun retreated along the passage. And his opponent also appeared in the center of the arena at this time. When he appeared, he found that there was no one on the opposite side, which made him feel strange. It is obvious that the Washa team has entered the field. Is it hidden? But he didn't wait long, and saw Zhao Yun jumping down from the stands. Only then did he let go of his hanging heart. Perhaps it is because they always want to use some improper means to win, so they are particularly on guard against such means. There was still a countdown before the start of the game. At the end of the countdown, Zhang Yunlu's body flashed red. Moo! A wild cow cry was heard far away. Zhao Yun's eyes were slightly red after hearing the cow's cry, and then he rushed towards Zhang Yunlu in a daze. Old Zhao is mighty. Old Zhao is a real man. In the preparation room, a group of people booed. According to Zhao Yun's usual fighting style, most of them are fighters, or like an assassin, they lie dormant and look for opportunities to kill with one blow. Even if you rush forward and hit hard like this, it depends on your opponent. It would be a little irrational for an awakened person of the agility department to rush forward and fight hard when facing the awakened person who turned into a beast. None of them noticed anything unusual. They thought Zhao Yun was infected by their winning streak, and they were going to be aggressive. Something is wrong. Yin Tianyu has rich experience. Seeing Zhao Yun's actions, he immediately felt that something was wrong. He was mocked. Bai Yu said on the side. Sarcasm. No wonder. Yin Tianyu nodded. They were all watching on the big screen in the preparation room. Even if they knew, it would not be able to help Zhao Yun. Being ridiculed. How do you know? Hearing Bai Yu and Yin Tianyu's words, the others became unhappy and asked quickly. My second awakening skill is specially designed to relieve this abnormal state, of course I can see it. Bai Yu said. Is that so? Isn't Lao Zhao in danger? Zhang Wei looked at the big screen, a little worried. Not necessarily. Zhao Yun is not so easy to deal with. Kong Ming shook his head. Can be selected to participate in the hunter contest, how many are simple? Although the opponent has a rare taunting skill, Zhao Yun may not have no way to crack it. Sarcasm is a negative state, which will make the person being ridiculed involuntarily want to go up and attack him. But this skill has a limited impact on sanity, it just amplifies the opponent's desire to attack as much as possible, and has no effect on thinking ability. That is to say, Zhao Yun desperately wants to knock down his opponent now, but he can find a way and use means. Instead of going up and punching him stupidly. Even if the awakening skill is not activated, Zhao Yun's speed is still very fast. Within a distance of nearly 100 meters, he rushed over in less than 5 seconds. Floating light. When rushing to the vicinity of Zhang Yunlu, Zhao Yun decisively activated the awakening skill. Several shadows rushed out, looking like a clone technique. Zhang Yunlu had already made plans to resist Zhao Yun's blow, and then grabbed Zhao Yun to prevent him from getting out, and used his powerful strength to fight against Zhao Yun, who had lost his speed advantage. But now, he was dumbfounded. Doppelgangers should be impossible. He knew that this was the afterimage produced after Zhao Yun's speed reached a certain level. But which one is true? With Zhang Yunlu's eyesight, he couldn't see it at all. But in fact, since these afterimages were produced due to excessive speed, each of them is real, because only after Zhao Yun's real body passes by there will there be afterimages. Instant cut. Cooperating with Glimpse, Zhao Yun once again displayed another skill. This is an attack skill. At this moment, afterimages scurrying all over the sky suddenly gathered in the center, and streams of blood began to rush from Zhang Yunlu's body. Zhao Yun's palm covered with spiritual power was comparable to a sharp blade, and wounds were opened on Zhang Yunlu's body. Ah! Trample! Boom! After the injury, Zhang Yunlu went crazy. After jumping up, his feet landed heavily, and a shock wave centered on the landing point of his feet and spread around. And the ground under his feet also had cracks like spider webs. Zhao Yun, who was in a taunting state, couldn't dodge in time, and was sent flying backwards by this shock wave, directly hitting the wall on the edge of the arena, spitting out a mouthful of blood. You managed to piss me off. Zhang Yunlu stared at Zhao Yun with a fierce expression on his face. No one took advantage of this collision. His trampling sent Zhao Yun flying out, causing him to vomit blood, but Zhao Yun's hand knife also cut countless wounds on his body. Although most of them only cut the skin and flesh, there are still a few deep visible bones. I want you to die. Brutal collision. Zhang Yunlu bowed and lowered his head. A pair of huge horns appeared on top of his head. One rushed towards Zhao Yun. Snort. Zhao Yun snorted coldly. Once the body moves, the normal speed is no less than the speed of Zhang Yunlu's ability to activate. Boom. Zhang Yunlu bumped his head against the wall where Zhao Yun was just now. The huge impact directly knocked out a big hole in the wall, sand and gravel splashed, and smoke and dust rose everywhere. There was no sign of Zhao Yun. The attack is ruthless enough. Is this rushing to kill me? Zhao Yun's complexion is very ugly. No matter who it is, when they know that someone wants to kill themselves, they will not be in a good mood. In this case, don't blame me for being rude. Someone wants to kill him. Zhao Yun naturally will not plan to let him go. He is not a saint, nor can he repay evil with kindness. Blood for blood, tooth for tooth is the most correct choice. Zhao Yun adjusted his figure and aimed at Zhang Yunlu, who was walking out of the smoke. Heart-piercing. With an angry shout, Zhao Yun's body turned into a streamer and went straight to Zhang Yunlu. Just as Zhang Yunlu regained his vision, he immediately noticed something was wrong. An extreme sense of crisis welled up in my heart. Steel and iron. Although he didn't find out where his opponent was, he activated his defensive skills without hesitation, and Zhang Yunlu's body was shrouded in a burst of golden light. Clang. The moment Jin Guang just appeared, Zhang Yunlu felt as if he had been pushed by a mad cow. He can turn into a bison himself, and he understands the feeling of pushing people into the air. There is even a little obsession. But now, he himself was blown away. He walked out of the hole he hit just now, but he smashed in again at an even faster speed. As Zhang Yunlu was knocked into the air, Zhao Yun's figure appeared at his original position. Zhao Yun gasped heavily. He had already been gutted by Zhang Yunlu. Under the anger, he forcibly launched an attack, which puts a considerable load on the body. If this blow was successful, it would be fine, but now, his powerful blow was blocked by Zhang Yunlu. Now, his situation is not optimistic. Die. Amidst the smoke and dust, a black figure savagely bumped out, aiming at Zhao Yun. Fight. Broken Jade. At this time, Zhao Yun wanted to hide, but it was too late. The heart-piercing stab he launched just now had already overloaded his body, and he couldn't make any big moves now. At this moment, he could only mobilize the spiritual power in his body and activate the fourth awakening technique. This skill is an extremely powerful skill. At the same time, it is also a bit like burning jade and stone together. The skill is called Broken Jade. Rather stick to your guns. Zhao Yun just wanted to fight Zhang Yunlu. Not only is it about who has the stronger skills, but also whose life is harder. Zhang Yunlu's rushing body collided fiercely with Zhao Yun. Blood was splashed, and Zhao Yun flew out like a kite with a broken string, directly crossed the entire arena, and smashed heavily on the audience. Fortunately, there were no live spectators in this match, otherwise, a few of them would have been crushed to death. But after knocking Zhao Yun into the air, Zhang Yunlu stood there like a statue, motionless. And Zhao Yun seemed to be dead, and he didn't get up from the auditorium for a long time. Who's winning? Is Lao Zhao all right? Get up. In the preparation room, everyone was sweating for Zhao Yun. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.